All right, looks like we are live. Mike, do a mic check real quick.
Yeah, let's do a quick mic check.
If we can get a little more of Steve-O in the speakers, por favor.
Check, 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 check.
I can hear you, but barely.
Okay, a little louder.
Oh. No.
Check, check.
Right, yeah, he's got the monitor in there. Can you tell Ben to turn? No signal, he said. Is that on? I'm going to go ahead and start talking. There you go.
Here we go.
Oh,
All right.
there we go.
Oh, man, we just had to turn it on, man. Call tech support.
All right, so now we are officially about to start the King of OSW. Is everybody excited? That didn't really sound too excited.
That was a little quiet. That sounded like my mic just a minute ago.
Yeah, you guys got to thaw out a little more. Make me feel it. Are you guys excited? That's a little better. All right, we're about ready to kick off the King of OSW, and we have missed a very important part of King of OSW for the last 2 rounds, Mr. Steve-O. Steve-O, we're glad to have you back.
Thank you, Tim. I'm glad to be back. I was in Japan, and then I got married, and then now I'm here. So, I was a little busy, but don't worry. I'm here for King of OSW for Black Friday Drift. Tim, are you ready?
I am ready. I'm bundled up. I got my Scully on. I got my gloves on. I'm enjoying the cool weather. It's been absolutely beautiful. Everybody's had free AC in their cars. Nobody's going to die of dehydration. We bought so much food, and we've been grilling. This time I learned my lesson in the past events. Bring food, grill it, and have a good time. And that's what it's about. We're actually going to have, I think they said they're going to have a mechanical bull later on this evening.
That's the rumor. That's the latest rumor. We'll at least have Stump, which, Tim, have you ever played Stump?
I have not played Stump. Can you explain?
I can't explain. You just have to play. It's that complicated of a game.
Well, those of you guys that are watching on live stream, those of you guys that are here live, if you want to share with live stream with a family or a friend that was not able to make it, or if you have to leave early, check out Drift Sessions on YouTube. We are going to be live streaming the competition for the rest of the evening. And it's myself, Tim Murphy, and Mr. Steve-O here. We are going to be your guides, as you would, to guide you through the night.
Exactly. All we're doing is really just taking what the judges are thinking or seeing and just translating it in kind of a way that most everyone can understand. And even if you don't understand it, I mean, sometimes we just say a bunch of gibberish. But nonetheless, the 3 main things that you guys need to know: line, angle, style. That's what the 3 criteria that the judges will be looking at. We have 3 judges, all with a very robust experience in drifting and judging and a bunch of other stuff that is related to making really tough decisions. Mm-hmm. And they're definitely the most qualified people here to be making these decisions, because tonight someone's going to be walking away with over 1,000.
Really?
Yeah, it's 32 times $50? Do some math real quick.
Yeah. No. But
$1,600?
Yeah, somebody get on your little tablet and go ahead and calculate that for us. But who are our judges?
Oh, that's a good question. First off, Pat Gooden.
All right, Passionate Pat Gooden, always a welcome judge here, always making sure he's ready to not just throw down on the track, but also make sure these guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. And then next up we have Brandon McDowell.
Yep, always a force to be reckoned with. Very exciting to watch him here at OSW in the past. We've seen his car catch fire, a bunch of crazy things. One thing you know about Brandon McDowell is he likes to party and he gets rowdy.
Absolutely. And then last but not least, Rad Dan.
Really not much else to say. He made his home here in Florida, and we are so grateful to have him. And he has been he's just really planting himself and rooting himself in the Florida drift scene. So it's excellent that he was able to join us here tonight.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about the grassroots here at King of OSW. So we are setting up the drivers, making sure that they're, in order, ready to go. So the show will be coming up soon. They got some practice time. They got some chips. So we also, if you're kind of new to King of OSW, it's not your typical qualifying seeding bracket competition. It's a little bit different. So we got a bag full of poker chips. Each driver picks a poker chip, and then there's 2 pairs of chips. So those 2 pairs of chips will be 2 drivers that will go up against each other. Mm-hmm. That's how we've done it in the past. This year, we had a losers bracket. So anyone that got like chips like 25 through 40, I think it was, they already battled. So I don't know if you were able to catch that, but the 25 through 40 drivers, they already got their unlucky 16 battles. 8 of them moved on. Now we're on to a top 32 bracket, just kind of normal how we typically do it. So we had like a little bonus round, like a a sprint race if you're into F1.
Or what they call now like a unlucky 16 seating bracket.
Exactly. That's the more like technical way of putting it. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not usually known to be the most technical person when it comes to announcing. I like to have a good time, and I know Steve-O likes to have a good time. So we are really trying to communicate how much fun this event really is. This event it's become a staple in the community here at Orlando and Florida altogether, and it's brought King of OSW and just OSW in general has been a major part in the role of growing drifting in Florida. We see drifters from all walks of life come here, all ages. I've seen drifters as old as mid-60s, 64 years old, and drifters like in their early teens, right? So OSW has become a home for drifting, and it's just like, it doesn't get much better. We got drifting, we got mechanical bulls, we got all kinds of crazy games.
Okay, again, the mechanical bull is just a rumor.
Is it? Oh, okay. That's just a rumor. Okay.
Let's not try to spread false information. Or anything.
Fake news. I'm sorry for the fake news. Maybe some misinformation or disinformation. I apologize.
Nonetheless, we'll be back with some drifting action here soon.
Mm-hmm.
Crowd is getting into their seats. Judges are ready to go. I think it's just a matter of getting these drivers to line up, and then we'll have an awesome show for you guys here at King of OSW.
I'll see it when I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah. All right, are we still live?
Yeah, we're live, buddy. We don't. I like that though. Like, huh? What? What? Yeah, go. No.
I'll be right back.
All right, go for it. Well, since we got a few minutes, I might as well go over the actual battles, so that if you are curious on who your favorite driver will be battling against, as you can see, they're going over the course and making sure the course is set up correctly. As these drivers go throughout the course, they want to make sure that course is consistent every time. They don't want any surprises. But our first battle is going to be Ryan Acevedo, the returning king, versus Andrew Grindle. Now, right out of the gate, Acevedo has he's got a pretty fierce battle. Acevedo has got to go against Grindle. Grindle is definitely a force to be reckoned with. After that, the next battle will be Steven Tassinero versus Conkling, which is going to be interesting. Jimenez versus, oh man, I don't want to murder that name. I want to say Satir. I'm trying to read Steve-O's handwriting, a little difficult. Then we have Luis Lazardi versus Chris Rios, Santos versus Camel, Brenton versus JC, and I want to say this is Chocheo. I'm not too sure because, again, trying to read some writing here. Versus Stephen Weeks. Bocha versus Arando. And then we have Chris Catrone versus Graddick. And Kapinski versus Royal. Jeremy versus Yanis. Porto versus Johnson. Lopez versus Acosta. Webb versus Nunez. I think Sagini versus Moita. And Rodriguez versus Nunez. It's not just hard to pronounce the names in normal, but it's also hard to read somebody else's handwriting. I'll definitely have to wait till Steve-O gets back here to make sure I can get corrections on that. But we are so thankful for everybody that has made it here. Again, like, share, subscribe. Drift Sessions on YouTube. Share it. Subscribe. We're going to have a blast as we're just waiting for the cars to pull up to the line. It looks like the track is set, and Steve-O looks like he got some rations there. Here you go.
I did get some rations. My lovely wife gave me some Chipotle.
Oh, nice.
Yes, delivered.
That's like trackside support right there. That's pretty good.
I'm pretty excited for this Chipotle. So if you see me filling my face with Chipotle later, just know I'm just trying to get some sustenance. Mm-hmm. So looks like we let's see, ran through the bracket. Mm-hmm. Did we run through the rules on kind of like how this works? Lines, speed, angle, or
no? I did not. Actually, that's a perfect time to segue into that.
Yeah. So I kind of mentioned this earlier about line, angle, style. Those are the 3 criteria that the judges will be kind of looking for. So line is basically wherever the car is on the track. We have what are called clipping points set up around the track, whether they're rear. I think they're all rear clipping points on this track.
Outside zones,
yeah, outside zones. That's another way to think about it. So outside zones, meaning that the back of the car needs to be as close as they can to those barriers or to those zones. So that way they, have that nice wide line through the turns, through the track. Oh, there we go.
There we go on the live stream.
Nice. So yeah, OZ1, outside zone 1. That's that very first entry corner. Next up, they'll have to transition. Oh, this is a lovely graphic. This is awesome. So they'll have to transition all the way out to OZ2. So the judges are going to be looking on how far the car can really kind of navigate through that second turn. Then next up, OZ3. This is where we saw a lot of drivers kind of mess up in the pre-loser bracket, in the unlucky 16. Next up, OZ4. It's the last corner. This is really where you need to impress the judges. Fill in that zone. They're standing right in front of this zone. So this is really where it counts. Mm-hmm. And then angle. How far the car is drifting? Is it really letting it out there, or is it just kind of like footing around? Tiptoeing around the idea of drift. And then style, commitment. That's the number one thing that judges really look at. Is like, are you committed or are you like bobbling around? So. Nonetheless, looks like we are about ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other things that I also want to point out, this is a tandem competition. If you're not familiar, if you join us on a live stream and you're new to drifting, it is a run what you brung style motorsports, so it doesn't matter how much horsepower you have to do battle. There's two different responsibilities. Lead car's responsibility is to put down a 100-point qualifying run, meaning nice, strong initiation, snappy transitions, deep into the zones. That chase driver has to allow that lead driver to make their transitions, cannot impede the driver in the lead position, but has to try to apply that pressure and be on his bumper door to door throughout the course. Those that do it best advance on. Those that don't.
All right, looks like we have our first pair, and I believe this is the king himself, Ryan Acevedo. Is that correct? Yeah, buddy. Ryan Acevedo against Andrew Grindle. This is a call-out, so this isn't just a normal, like, they pull chips. Like, they actually called each other out during the meeting saying, like, yo, Andrew, I take you on. Or actually, I think it worked on, Andrew called out, I forget.
It's almost like Pokemon, I choose you. Bah!
Exactly.
Maybe no? I don't know, we'll see. Anyhow, Ryan Acevedo's going to lead. Grindle's going to give chase. The reigning king, Ryan Acevedo. Everything's on the line. Strong battle right out of the gate.
And it does look like they're both in 350Z, so we'll try our best to kind of distinguish between the two, but Acevedo will be leading and Grindle will be following.
Yep, so the lead lane, those of you here joining us, if you're not familiar how they run this, the right lane will be the lead car, and the driver's right lane will be the lead car, and then the driver's left lane will be giving chase. And as you see on the screen, Ryan Acevedo will be leading. Andrew Grindle giving chase.
So I believe Ryan is in his kind of like, not competition car, but his, kind of fun car. So, it's kind of interesting to hear about these drivers and how many cars they have and what cars they use for what. But this is really just like a second or third gear track, so they don't need a competition car out.
All right, well, here we go. Give it up for the first battle of King of OSW. Ryan, nice initiation. As we said, he is he's not using his pro car. So we noticed that he's going to be a little more underpowered than normal. Andrew Grindle's taking advantage every step of the way because look at the amount of pressure Grindle's putting in the chase position. Both drivers making that snappy transition on the back of the course, now attacking that third outer zone. Ryan Acevedo kind of run a shallow line there through that outer zone, but looking smooth nonetheless, and Grindle right there every step of the way. Give it up for Ryan Acevedo and Andrew Grindle, our first battle of Black Friday Drift here at King of OSW.
Yeah, definitely make some noise after that. That was a good way to start. Nothing too crazy, but just solid drifting. So I'm really happy with how these two guys started us off. Grindle following, he was chasing down Ryan Acevedo in the black 350Z with the gray 350Z. Tim, what are you drawing over there?
So we're testing something out here. So you're looking for a little more proximity there. As I see, I draw that line there. Andrew Grindle doing a great job. You can see a little far off that inside clip. But nonetheless, they're able to navigate the course. I mean, this is a new toy for me.
Yeah, but then, let's see, Grindle's kind of going in a little shallow there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to have some fun with this. But you can see how much space there was in between them and the outer zone number 4. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the judges' eyes.
Right, so this is run number 2 of this top 32 battle. So each driver gets a lead and a chase run. So after run 1, the lead becomes the chase, and then the chase becomes the lead for run 2. And then here we go. Looks like both drivers are about ready to go. So now Andrew Grindle will be leading, and then Ryan Acevedo will be chasing him down.
All right, looks like we're just getting a word from the judges to make sure the track is set. And here we go.
All right, here we go, OSW. Run 2 of the very first top 32 battle. We have Grindle out in front in the gray 350Z. Little left foot brake to enter, but fills in the first rear zone quite nicely. But look at Ryan Acevedo. He's the king of OSW. He won't let you forget it. Filling in all the way. Great proximity for outer zone 2. Now they transition on the back side of the skid pad now for outer zone 3. Look at Ryan starting to lunge, hesitating a little bit. Maybe he's going to make a big show for outer zone 4. And here we go, Grindle Garage and the gray 350Z doing a nice job, cleanly finishing us out with Ryan Acevedo right at the end. Make some noise, OSW, for your first top 32 battle.
So Ryan not choosing
Run 2 of the very first top 32 battle.
vehicle. You can already see that looks like a closer proximity here, but still, Andrew Grindle's doing a great job. Both drivers really attacking the course very well. It gets kind of dark in the back section there, but look how close those vehicles are. Very close. That's what we want to see. We want to see his cars getting as close as possible. And then finally, still running that shallow line around that third outer zone as both vehicles, but look how close they are. A little tap there, as you can see.
All right, we do have some news from our judges. Ryan Acevedo gets the win. Ryan Acevedo keeps his chances for a second crown.
Wow. And
yeah. So Andrew Grindle called him out, but
our next battle is Steven Tassinero versus Conkling. Steven Tassinero will be leading, and Conkling will be giving chase. So it's going to be interesting to watch this battle. Like I said, Tassinero will be leading, Conkling giving chase, and away they go.
So Eric Conkling in the yellow S13 240SX right behind Steven Tassinero in the black S14 240SX. Navigated through the first outer zone quite nicely. Eric Conkling going for some nice proximity there at the second outer zone. Now through the transition, Steven Tassinero, a little flame. Oh, but shuts down. We still have some flame coming out. I don't know what's going on, but let's see if they can still continue the run. Looks like everything came back to normal for Tassinero, but we're still seeing flames come out from Tassinero. Tassinero is still seeing flames from the back of the car. Let's make sure that our emergency vehicles are not too far away, because it wasn't just a little exhaust, a little burp.
No.
It was a belch.
Yeah.
And continued to belch, and that's not a good sign sometimes. So we're making sure in the background that Tassinero's car is still good, not on fire. So we're checking on that. Tim, what do you see in the live stream?
Well, on the live stream, I'm seeing right around the third outer zone. Conklin straight now, unfortunately. Not going to do himself any favors, but there you go. There's you got that flame right there just billowing from inside the back of that vehicle. Hopefully they're able to get that fire out, and he's able to pull back up to the line.
That impromptu heater that I'm sure everyone would enjoy might not be the one that he was asking for.
No, I mean, it's exciting, but not in a good way.
Not in a good way. I think we're all good. I think the safety crew looked out for Steven Tassinero's car, and it looks like it's all in one piece. So I think we'll move on to the second half of this top 32 battle. Steven Tassinero in the black S14, who led the previous run, will now chase down Eric Conkling from Gainesville, Florida. Eric Conkling, formerly known as Bieber.
Well, that's right. Bieber.
If you really go back, the guy started drifting at 14, 15 years old.
He still looks like 14 or 15 years old, just with
Hey,
a
man,
beard.
he's older now.
He is, but still looks young.
Nonetheless.
Maybe he's a vampire. I don't know.
He's aging great, just like his dad. Shout out, Fred. Nonetheless, Eric Conkling will now be leading, and Steven Tassinero chasing him down.
So already an exciting night. We're only into our second battle, and we are basically going all through the top 32 until we have either the return of a reigning king or we have a new king. We've seen several kings in the past. We've seen several kings hold on to the title for a few King of OSWs.
Yeah, Tassinero won it once, right?
I believe so,
Yeah.
I mean, you've been here longer than I have, so you probably would know a little better.
Oh, man, I'm not a history book. So either way, it's getting a little chilly here at OSW, but I hope everything is on fire on the track. But not too much on fire. Let me correct myself a little bit with that.
Oh, I do see vehicles pulling up. So that will be Eric Conkling leading and Stephen Tassanero giving chase.
And both cars are away. Eric out in front in the yellow 240. Tassanero chasing him down. Good initiation by both drivers. Eric Conkling doing a nice job of filling in the outer zone, but look at Stephen Tassanero really get on the door of Eric as they transition into outer zone 2. Fills it in on the door. Can't complain with anything that's going on right now. Nice, easy, fast transition, but look at Tassanero try to lunge in for the second half of the course. Eric Conkling a little off on outer zone 3, but let's see what they can do in outer zone 4. This is really where Stephen Tassanero needs to impress the judges, trying to kiss the front tire. Woo!
Wow.
Make some noise, Orlando.
It's gonna be interesting to see how the judges are able to look at both runs back to back. But you can see, definitely looks like there's a lot more, or as Tassanero is definitely deeper in the pocket than Conkling was in the chase position. But great job in the lead position. See how close he is to that outside line there. That's right where we want him to be. And of course, that nice quick little flick, and Tassanero inches away from Conkling through the transition. And again, look at, I could barely draw a line between those two vehicles as they make their way through that third outer zone. The final transition, and I don't know, wow, look how close they are.
There were no flames, but that run was hot.
So now we're just waiting for an official decision. Wow.
Stephen Tassanero gets the win. Stephen Tassanero will move on to the top 16, and Eric Conkling, unfortunately, he will not be King of OSW this year.
So I wasn't able to read this. So I know it's Jimenez is going to lead, and who? Sakar? Okay, Sakar is going to give chase. So Jimenez versus Sakar, and Jimenez out front in that white BMW. And
yeah, so Chris Sakar, yep, there we go. Chris Sakar chasing down, and the yellow IS-300. Harlem Jimenez out in front, cruising through the transition, putting on a huge gap, but don't worry. Here comes Chris Sakar.
Oh!
We have contact. We have a collision in outer zone 3.
Wow. If any, the one way you don't want to hit a K-rail, thankfully, hopefully there wasn't any water in that, is head on like he did. Well, it looks like he's okay. Nothing hurt but his pride. And I'm watching it here on the instant replay. It looked like a great run in the lead position from Jimenez, representing Dominican Republic there. Those flags flying out the back of that BMW. But look, doing a good job, nice smooth transitions, and right about, as you see them both attack, there's a lot of space in between both cars, and he straightens out.
Oh, man, just
right
overcooked it into
no.
the plastic K-rails.
You definitely don't want to do that. Oh, don't want to do that. Do this. And that is a, we don't want to see that.
Sad face. So we're going to take a minute to fix this K-rail. And the unfortunate thing is it's fortunately it's not concrete. It's not hard. It's not filled with water. But they sometimes shatter into like a million pieces, and that can cause tire punctures. So we're making sure that the track is clear. So there's going to be a small, short break before the second half of this battle. But nonetheless, we'll have these plastic barriers fixed. Seems like the BMW that hit him seems just fine. It continued the rest of the run, even though that will now be a 0 for his lead run, right?
Yeah, so right now it looks like Sakar will be now leading, and Jimenez will be giving chase. I mean, you can just see how the smoke is kind of remaining on track as you look at it in the headlights of both vehicles at that start line. And it does look like they got the track back together and set up. So now, as you can see on the screen, we have Chris is going to be in the lead, and Harlem is going to give chase. Now, Harlem Jimenez, he's got a lot of ground to make up now, going into the second half of his battle with a pretty major deficit.
Yeah, again, like there's really, nothing that he can do about it. I mean, he crashed into the barriers, and now he's got to, impress the judges or hope that Chris Sakar in the IS-300, the yellow IS-300, makes an equal or greater mistake. So, we'll see.
Right. So right now, Harlem has to be able to apply as much pressure as possible. See if he could force a mistake from Chris.
All right. I think we're about to send this next battle.
I believe so.
All right, OSW, second half of this top 32 battle. Harlem Jimenez, sitting on a big deficit by crashing into a barrier, will now be chasing down Chris Sakar in the yellow IS-300. Jimenez really trying to make up for his mistake, really applying the pressure with that VA-powered BMW. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Smooth through the transition, but ooh, looks like something is going on in the back. Almost had a second mistake in a row, but I think he kept it together, kept that composure together. But look at the aggression from Harlem Jimenez. Make some noise, OSW.
Wow, see, it was really Harlem Jimenez had to apply whatever pressure he possibly could, and I don't think he could have fought any harder. Again, major deficit in the first half of the battle, but you can just see, like, just constantly just barely making contact around the course, doing an amazing job, staying side by side, smooth transitions. But right here is where you see him really dive at shallow up angle and boom, right there, trying
contact.
to get in a pocket. Yeah, great job by both drivers.
All right, we're getting word that the IS-300 driven by Chris Sakar gets the win. Chris Sakar gets the win.
Chris, great job, Chris. Unfortunately,
But big ups for Jimenez of still trying, still putting the pressure on. I love to see that.
yeah.
Love to see it.
Right.
So nonetheless.
Next up, we have Luis Lizardi versus a returning previous king and Chris Rios. Luis Lizardi is going to lead first. Chris Rios is going to give chase.
And this is another call out. All these battles that you've been seeing are call outs. So these guys know each other off the track. They are buds. Now they get to put it down on the track, as Luis Lizardi in the yellow E46 BMW certainly did in the very first corner. Losing a bumper already. Chris Rios right on the door. I don't know if that was contact or what, but let's see what they can do on the second half of the course. Luis Lizardi in the yellow E46, but look at Chris Rios right on the front door. Now they transition into the very last corner. Luis Lizardi just needs to keep it together, but Chris Rios is knocking on the door. Right on the wall, they finish. Make some noise, OSW.
What an amazing run. Lead run, chase run. It almost seemed like Luis Lizardi was playing a little Mario Kart. His bumper's yellow, almost like he tried to drop a banana peel right in front of Chris Rios, but it did not phase him whatsoever. Look at that, how close they are. Oh, missed him with the banana peel, and Chris Rios is almost bullying Luis Lizardi around the course, just constantly tapping him on the door, and there goes the banana peel, just missing Chris Rios. And look at Chris diving in for the attack. The proximity, amazing.
But
Luis Lizardi also doing a tremendous job.
you know what's more effective than a banana peel, right?
Turtle shell?
A red shell.
Ah, see, there you go. And that Chris Rios is driving a red shell.
So that 350Z will now lead, and Luis Lizardi in the yellow E46 will now chase him down.
There you go.
Also, quick announcement. If you lost your phone and you left it in the women's bathroom, please come to the announcer's table. If you lost your phone, all you need to do is just describe what's on the background, and we'll help you out. So if you lost your phone, check your pockets. And if you don't know where your phone is and you left it in the women's bathroom, then come to the announcer's table.
All right, here we go. Chris Rios out front, and Luis Lizardi has got to make up some ground because Chris Rios had a stellar chase run, and it looks like Chris, I mean, he knows this territory. This is his previous kingdom, and look at Luis Lizardi falling way back. Chris Rios looking to take that crown back again. Can he make his way? Right now, he's looking locked, dialed, loaded. I mean, he is just ready to rock as both drivers make their way throughout the course. Give it up. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, my goodness. Luis letting it all hang out. Can't just, you know what? That was absolutely insane. I actually almost got out of my seat.
I ran away. I'm not going to lie to you. I know these plastic barriers, they shatter into a million pieces. I did not bring my hockey mask today.
Oh, looks like. All right. You did your good deed for today, Steve.
Yeah, and I ran. Yeah, thankfully these barriers are pretty easy, and
Yeah.
Lewis didn't go too deep, but there's definitely you know, a lot of aggression from Louis Lizardi. I think he
Right
definitely
there.
knew that he was at a
Bam.
disadvantage.
Yep. Not.
And then
good.
somewhere in the background you see a Steve-O run away.
Yeah. Who's that gentleman running away?
That would be me. I'm not even gonna lie. But we actually have a piece of body work. Is that
That's a
Lewis's
light.
car?
Yep. We can auction that. Maybe we can get him to sign it.
It's a E46 taillight.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Going to the highest bidder. Who's got it? I got a 50, 50, 50. Starting at 100, 100, 100. I'll give it back to Lewis. He's a good guy. He doesn't deserve his bodywork being auctioned off.
Yeah, Louis Lizardi, another old school driver from way back in the day. I remember he would make his way back and forth from Puerto Rico into the States to compete in the early years of SWD and Formula Drift. So I got to get to know him really well there. There was one time we were in a competition and I blew the diff in my E30, and he actually had a diff. This was up, I think, in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I had to
C-Max, right?
Yeah, this was a while ago. Actually, no, it was at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the interior of the course.
Oh, nice.
This is way back in the day, but
man.
he helped me out, gave me a new diff, and I was able to get back in the competition. So shout out to Louis Lizardi. Unfortunately, kind of cooked it a little much. Did we get an official decision on this?
Yeah, I think we need an official decision from Tommy of who moves on, just so we don't announce the wrong name. But I think it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, our next battle is going to be Santos versus Camel. Santos will be leading, and Camel will be giving chase. So those of you fans of Santos and Camel, make sure you let them hear you as they make their way down the course. Santos will be leading. Camel will be giving chase.
All right, so Chris Rios does get the win. Unfortunately, knock it out, Louis Lizardi. But again, as Tim mentioned, super cool guy, super rad dude that helps out the drift scene. Has been doing a lot of cool stuff since 2014, I want to say.
Oh yeah, back in the day. I don't even want to date myself, but yes, around that
There we
time,
go.
I'll go with that.
Solid. So we'll move on to our next battle. Tim, who's our next challengers?
We have Santos is going to be in the lead, and Camel giving chase. Camel has been chasing this crown for years, and he's just a tremendous gentleman, and he's always having a good time. So can he take out Santos, though? I guess we're about to find out.
All right, so Carlos Santos out in front, Camel chasing him down. Camel taking the shortcut on initiation, but Carlos Santos cruising through the outer zone 1. Now it's time for them to transition into outer zone 2. Camel is still on the door, rocking that rev limiter. Now it's time to see what they can do on the second half of the course as Camel starts to make his lunges, but Carlos Santos still off the rev limiter. As crazy as it sounds here, he's actually just kind of taming that engine, and Camel having to kind of keep up. That was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely on one here because they were just pedal to the metal. Could have been a little wider through that first outside zone, but still nice smooth line. Camel trying to cut the line a little bit, try to gain proximity, and as you can see, still a little bit left to be desired there in as far as proximity and chase position. But when they worked their way to that third outer zone, you could see how shallow they are through that third outer zone. So we'd like to see them a little wider. Nonetheless, smooth angle, nice speed, very exciting. Snappy transitions, and as they make their way off the course, almost a little bit of tap right there between two drivers. Camel doing a good job in that chase position.
All right, real quick, real small housekeeping thing, but it is kind of a big deal to someone. So if you drive a silver Infinity SUV with the Florida license plate 44CHTB, you did not win anything, but you are blocking someone. So please, if you have this car, a silver Infinity SUV, looks like is that a Q? FX35, I want to say. Yeah, FX35, please.
Oh, no. Yeah, we were going to have to get that. Oh, not good, not good. Had some technical difficulties here. We got people with big feet walking around.
Check.
Oh, there you go. We're back in
I'm
business.
back.
All right, here we go. It looks like Camel's out front now. His turn to lead the way. And Santos giving chase. Look at Santos in the chase position, really trying to apply that pressure, diving way inside through that second outside zone as both drivers make their way through the center of the course. Nice snappy transitions. Camel trying to fill out that outer zone. Santos diving inside. Oh, my goodness. Camel completely filling out that second outside zone. Both drivers making their way through the final outer zone is Camel and Santos. Wow.
Nice.
Indeed.
All right, so Camel on his lead run, a little bit here or there, but, looking at the live stream, damn, I mean, Carlos is like almost almost gunning it towards him. I know he's like right off the rev limiter, and that's just he's just not able to get into the next gear. I think he's got enough power for it, though, right?
Yeah, he definitely has the power to straighten up a little bit in the chase position, but Camel could have been a little deeper there. Unfortunately, just
So we have Pat Good and one of our judges coming over for another replay, so we can kind of confirm and or deny what actually happened on that previous run.
Another replay? If we could get that, there we go. So we got a pretty good sized gap right there as we make our way through that second outside zone.
So right now we have all three judges kind of looking over the replay and making sure that they're double checking what they think, and that's kind of the major thing is like the drone gets a certain perspective that not anyone on the ground can really see. So we're just double checking our work, and I think we have an answer. Camel gets the win. Camel gets the win, knocking out Carlos Santos.
Camel and his crew have got to be happy. Can he just, and I've seen him take out competitor after competitor. He's got to keep the momentum going and hopefully keep that car together, and he can be a new king. I know he has it in him.
Yeah, he's been chasing this for years. I mean, some of his buddies have gotten it, but now it's time for Camel to hop on and get that crown.
So I believe this is Brenton versus JC? Brenton, am I saying that right?
Yeah, Dylan Brenton against JC. I don't know exactly what JC means, but
yeah, Brenton
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, Brenton's leading. JC's giving chase. As not a bad initiation there, getting very deep into that first outside zone is Brenton. As wow, JC's really putting the pressure on.
Woo!
Oh my goodness! Definitely not going to do himself any favors as JC kind of.
Another big spin.
Oh no!
Too loose, my dude. And we're making sure that there's no contact, but you know some of these things can just kind of happen. You know, get through the transition and get through just you know get a little too hot with it. So it is a Mustang. So you know, say what you want about them. Ooh, there was contact though on the very first kind of bobble. So again, like I said, this is what drones can do, and you know something that we weren't able to see on the ground was whether or not there was contact. And reviewing the drone footage, and I know not everyone in the crowd can see this, but there was contact. So the judges get to kind of figure out how that affects the next run, or how that affects the end result, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing about having that drone footage. And those of you that are here, you can tune on to the live stream at Drift Sessions YouTube page, and you can see these minute details that the drone's able to catch. It's kind of harder from this vantage point, and that's what makes technology so great.
Yeah, shout out to the production crew of making this all work.
Yes, CJ doing a killer job. Shout out.
All right, so now this is the second half. So the Mustang will now chase, and the G35 driven by JC will now lead.
It's always exciting to see, as the second half of the battle go into such an undecisive decision when you see that major correction, or not correction, but just a major mistake. Now, what's going to happen? Right now, JC just has to hold it together. If Brenton was faulted for the last incident, JC could just make a full pull and get the win here. We're about to find out.
Definitely the G35 out in front was a little wild with the transition, but kept it under control. The Mustang is starting to reel him in, but might be too little too late as we finish the second run of this top 32 battle.
Yeah, you definitely see a power deficit from these two drivers. I mean, they kind of seem like they're similar, how about the same amount of power plant as far as, down to the ground horsepower, but it's going to be interesting. Whatever driver does move on, they're going to have an uphill battle because there are some heavy hitters.
Let's see what the crowd thinks. Make some noise if you think the G35 will move on. Make some noise if you think the Mustang will move on. Make some noise for one more time. Yeah, I agree. So most of the crowd booed on that one. JC and the J35 moves on. Will get the win and move on to the top 16 bracket.
Okay, and the next two on the, I know it's Stefan Weeks is going to be chasing, but I couldn't read your handwriting, Steve-O. You got the Chocello?
Jason Chocello? I'm trying here. Jason Cicello. So he's going to be going up against Stephen Weeks.
Or
Stephen Weeks.
Or Chicheo, I'm not sure.
Who we saw earlier in the Unlucky 16 battle.
Oh, that's right.
So he's the 240SX with the big wing chasing down Jason Cicello out in front. Jason with the black 350Z, nice flick initiation, big wild style as he comes into the track. But now as they transition into the second outer zone, Stephen Weeks starts to get left behind. Now through the transition into the second half of the course, Cicello, super good job, but Stephen Weeks starting to lunge right in, but no, loses ground as Cicello with the blue neons cruises through with Stephen Weeks struggling there behind. Love to see the effort right at the end, but unfortunately he just kind of lost it in the second half. What happened?
Well, you know, I'm looking at the instant replay. So far, when you're looking at Stefan in the chase position, he has a little shallow angle trying to gain proximity, falling apart here in the chase position. But that's not really the biggest concern. You know, they're kind of bobbling. It's really not the best chase, not the best lead. But the second half, after they pass that inside clip, Stephen almost looks like he straightens out a little bit for a second there. It's kind of hard to capture that and point that out. And then falling way back, major bobble through outer zone number 2, and then very shallow through that fourth and final outer zone.
But there is still a chance. So Stephen Weeks might be a little bit out of a disadvantage, but he now gets to lead with Cicello chasing him behind in the 350Z. Stephen Weeks with the big wing 240SX ready to go. He's out in front. Struggling to get a good initiation by both drivers, but here they are. Lots of bobbling from the rear of Stephen Weeks' car. I don't know if that wing is just making way too much downforce, but we got Cicello right on the door of Stephen Weeks. He really wants to solidify this win for the top 30 or the top 32 battle. Man, Stephen Weeks moving away as Cicello looked like he straightened out just a little bit through the transition. Now for the last outer zone, Stephen Weeks right on the edge of the barriers, right on the wall. Make some noise, OSW.
Wow, I will tell you, not the best runs by either driver. I've seen Stephen Weeks put down better runs than this. So I know he's really thinking what's going on. Maybe there's something going on with the vehicle, but it looked like he was kind of slowing up. Oh, wow, look how close they got. Maybe that's what caused the straighten out. But you did see Cicello kind of impeding Weeks' transition. Maybe that is the decision maker.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it definitely looked like Stephen Weeks was bobbling about, but it's all in the judges' hands. And that's why I like being on the announcer, because I get to announce another winner of You're Blocking Someone. We have an FX Infinity, same license plate as I mentioned earlier, 44C HTB. I'm going to remember that now. So if you are driving that vehicle, they are going to tow it if you don't get there now. So you might not have a ride home unless you go now to the parking lot because you're blocking someone. So FX 35 Infinity, a silver FX Infinity, and
move it or lose it.
Yeah. So they'll lose.
Well, Steve is going to get taken out of commission here. I have a feeling he's not going to make it to the end of the round. Well, while we're trying to get word of the winner, our next battle is going to be Boccia versus Arando. I don't know if I'm reading his name right here. It's kind of hard to read. Steve's. Are we doing okay there? You back up? Trying to get some.
Check. All right, we're good. We're
back.
good.
Okay, leave it right there. Yeah, we'll just.
Yeah.
That gives them a little space there to get in between the. All right. Anyhow, did we get a winner from the last round? No?
We'll let you know as soon as we find out. So out in front.
Boccia's out front. And Arando. I'm not. Okay, well.
So this should be Brian Boccia against Adam Arando. Brian Boccia out in front in the blue 350Z. Adam Arando in the purple 350Z. Still kind of, here nor there. Not necessarily on the door, but definitely not a bus length behind. And there we go. Yes, that is Brian Boccia. I was able to peek on the door card, and in fact, Brian Boccia out in front of the blue 350Z, putting down a pretty good lead run. Let's look at the replay.
All right, so definitely a lot of not enough proximity. They're very far apart going through that first outside zone. So it really was on Arando to be able to close that gap, and he kind of shallowed up his line in order to try to dive in the pocket, but Boccia was definitely much faster on the course, but a shallow line. Would like to see him a little deeper through that second outside zone. Let's see how he does around the fourth and final outside zone. Again, like to see him a little deeper into these outer zones. Now the course is cold, so it gets a little stickier. Maybe that was playing into the shallowness.
That's a good point, Tim. So now they're going to switch it up. The purple 350Z will now become the leader, and the blue 350Z will now become the chaser.
And that temperature is dropping quick, too.
I can see my own breath.
Did we get a winner from was it Stefan Weeks or?
Tommy, who won the previous battle?
Weeks versus?
Big wing or no? Stephen Weeks had the big wing.
Oh, okay. So, Jason Trocello?
Yes, Jason Trocello gets the win from the previous battle. Sorry that we weren't able to announce that immediately.
We had
someone
cars
knocked
in the
over
way.
my mic.
And we had cars in the way in the pit area, too.
But nonetheless, I'm back, and we're back to run number 2 of this top 32 battle here for King of OSW. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves here at Orlando.
Yep, Boccia will be
It's a little chilly, but here we go.
Yep.
Tim, take it away.
All right. Boccia's got to make up some ground and see if he can apply that pressure. And it looks like so far he is. Orlando in a lead position, doing a pretty good job. Nice angle, smooth transitions. Like to see him a little deeper through those outside zones. But look at Boccia almost all over the back of Orlando's vehicle. Oh, my goodness. As they go through that back section, Orlando's able to pull away. Boccia has to close that gap. He has to apply that pressure in order to take home this win. Can he do it as they make their way through the fourth and final outer zone? Give it up for Boccia and Orlando.
Woo, good effort by Boccia, but man, what happened on the initiation? Looked like he kind of had some suspension bind. I don't know what was going on. It kind of hibbited and hobbited, and I don't know what really happened. So we're going to look back to the replay because on initiation, Boccia, did look like he did make contact and then straightened out just a little bit, affected the angle of the lead driver. So that's not a good sign in the eyes of the judges. So now we're kind of looking through the live stream, making sure that any other straightens might have happened. Seemed like there might have been one there on the back straight, as you can see now. Reinitiates, you can see a little puff of smoke, but nonetheless, we'll see what the judges have to make.
Kind of like a lazy transition in the back section, but he's not. He has to allow the lead driver to transition, right? He cannot impede the lead driver's transitioning, so that might come to play in the decision.
Man, I don't want to be a judge because these types of calls can be tough to make.
Yeah, the next battle is going to be Christian Catrone versus Graddick. I think that's
Graddick, yes.
Yep.
Let's see.
Christian Catrone
Corey
will be leading.
Graddick. Corey Graddick will be the next battle, but we have to figure out who wins this battle.
Absolutely. So,
yeah, Adam Arundel. Adam Arundel gets the win. Adam Arundel in the purple 350Z gets the win. Brian Boccia in the blue 350C.
I think it's Boccia.
Boccia, sorry.
No, I don't know.
We're getting a little creative with the last names here.
We apologize.
It's Tim Murphy.
Tim Murphy. I've been called that before. Anyways, Chris Catrone's going to lead, and Corey Graddick will give chase.
Another former king of OSW, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
All right, Christian doing a good job filling out that first outside zone, but Corey all over him right before that first transition into the second outer zone. Both vehicles making their way through the back section. Nice little flick by both cars. Christian Catrone trying to pull away, running a nice kind of midline there. Corey cutting the course to try to gain that proximity, but Christian Catrone, a force to be reckoned with, as they make their way off the course.
Solid run. Christian Catrone, former king of OSW, just cruising through. But nonetheless, Corey Graddick still doing a great job of gaining some proximity there on the first outside zone. Don't worry, those are just neons. The car is not on fire. So nonetheless, Christian Catrone doing exactly what he needs to do. Out in front, just kind of cruise through like it's a 100-point qualifying run. But Corey Graddick losing a little bit of ground going into outer zone 3 through the second half of the course. Starts to take a shallower line, try to gain some more proximity into outer zone 4. Hangs on for the last corner, and then there is it. And we're on to run number 2. How about that?
Well, we'll see. That was a very solid run by both drivers, lead and chase position. So it's really going to come down to the second half of this battle to see who will advance on to the next round.
Yeah, I want to say that Christian Controne did a great job of doing a solid lead. Now he has to follow. They'll switch it up. Yep. Christian Controne and the silver gray C6 Corvette taking down Corey Gredick.
All right, here we go. Christian, can he apply the pressure he needs to force a mistake out of Corey as they make their way down the straight? Both drivers initiating. And, wow, Corey nice and deep through that first outside zone. Christian is all over them as they make their first transition into that second outside zone. Both vehicles side by side, looking dialed. Very, very tight between both vehicles. Smooth transitions. Here we go. Can Christian apply that pressure early? And, whoa! Look at Christian Controne. Side by side, mimicking that angle. Oh my goodness! Christian Controne a little too close for comfort as Corey and Christian come off the course.
For what was otherwise a perfect run, definitely that piece of contact, that contact going into the outer zone 4 was that's a little dirty blemish that I would like to forget about, but unfortunately the judges won't forget about it and are looking at the replay right now. I mean, Christian Controne was excellent on the proximity. Right on the front tire going through outer zone 2 and then through the transition, kept right on the door. Maybe impeded the transition a little bit, I don't know. I'll allow the judges to make that decision.
Right about here.
But this is where it gets really interesting. Controne right on the door, but boop. Oh, right there. Again, the judges get to decide. So you saw that little boop going into outer zone 4. That's what the judges really want to pay attention to, because if they impeded the transition, that's going to be a big deduction for the Corvette. So we'll see.
Can we get a replay on that, Captain Ben, in the command center? There we go. Gotta watch it all again.
So Christian Controne, former King of OSW. I don't know how many years ago that was, but still, he definitely wants to wear that crown again. It feels good. You feel empowered and entitled and ready for whatever battles you might encounter. But you have to get through the top 32. So Christian Controne is looking a little spicy there in the C6 Corvette.
Well, it's interesting to look and analyze this run because, you know, was there a slow up? Is that why Christian was going in the back of the vehicle? Was Christian really getting away? Look, when I watched the instant replay, that Christian did allow the transition. It wasn't until after the transition where there was contact with Christian Controne. So was it a slow up from Corey that caused Christian Controne to only lunge forward and give him a little bump from the
That's a good point. That's
a
good point.
You know, was it a slowdown where he shouldn't have been slowing down? Did Corey slow down to cause that disruption in momentum that caused Controne to lunge forward, or was Controne just getting a little too aggressive?
Ooh. Again, I would hate to be a judge, but instead, I'm the announcer, so I get to say the fun things. Again, if you drive a FX35 Infinity, I forgot the license plate, unfortunately. Your car might be getting loaded onto the tow truck right now. If you're blocking someone, who knows? Maybe it got fixed. Let's hope it got fixed, because calling an Uber from Bithlow is not easy.
Yeah, well, what does the crowd think? Well, who thinks that Christian Controne gets the win? Oh, what about Corey? Let's do that one more time. I think you guys were sleeping. Did Corey get the win? What about Christian Controne? Oh, wow, okay. Oh.
Corey Gredick gets the win in the Mustang.
There you
go.
go.
So, unfortunately, we have a former King of OSW knocked out in top 32. But, man, good efforts.
Yeah, I would have to say the crowd called it.
Yeah, sure did. Maybe they're smarter than us.
I think that's definitely possible.
I don't know. Nonetheless, we're on to our next battle. Joseph Kopinski against Alex Roy. Now, both of these guys went through the unlucky 16 and now find themselves against each other in the top 32 of King of OSW, and we're already sending them. So here we go. Kopinski out in front in the red 350 or 370Z.
Whoa, what happened there? Alex coming straight out of drift to that first outside zone. Not going to do himself any favors. Kopinski's just got to stay in it to win it in that lead position. As long as he whoa! Wow, Roy is, I don't know if it's the nerves getting to him, but he is all over the place, not doing himself any favors. Kopinski looking solid, dialed in as they make their way throughout the course.
Woo! Ah, man, we have a pretty big cleanup. It looked like one of the cones shattered. Did I see that right? I mean, I see a bunch of flakes of green on the track. That must mean only one thing. There's going to be some cleanup to do. So that's kind of the crazy part about these, these cones is you get them cold and they start getting real brittle, and, you crash into them, they fly into 1,000 pieces. So we're going to clean this up real quick. It definitely looked like you went a little bit too deep. Now we're looking into the replay. So, yeah, that part already passed on the replay. So, nonetheless, Tim, what do you think?
I think it's going to be interesting to see how the judges are going to be able to analyze this. And it's one of those things, goes back to your point, I'm glad I'm not judging.
Good point. So, looked like the track workers are cleaning it up. Again, big shout out to all these guys of making sure that the track is clean and safe and ready to go for this next half of this top 32 battle.
Yeah, I definitely think Kopinski's got the advantage going into the next half of this battle. So it's really, if Kopinski can maintain composure in the chase position, apply the pressure he needs to, but not get too aggressive and just let Roy make the mistakes that if he makes the same mistakes he did the last run, just kind of sit back, let Roy make the mistakes, and stay in the pocket as best as he can. He should be able to walk away with the win.
That's a good point. A lot of these drivers, this is a grassroots event. This isn't, a serious competition where you're, given a ton of pressure, but they do have to deliver, and sometimes that pressure can get to them. So let's see what they can do in the second half of this top 32 battle. They'll switch it up. So Joseph Kopinski will give chase, and then Alex Roy will then lead. And here we go.
I feel like just someone from the fridge to the freezer as the second half of this battle is underway. And Joseph Kopinski not being shy. I mean, he's trying to dive in that pocket as Roy is doing a much better job in the lead position this time around as the drivers make their way through that second outside zone, working their way across the back section of the course, and now flicking it into that third outer zone. And Kopinski is not going to leave it up to chance. He wants to make sure the judges know he's going to be as aggressive as possible. And look at both drivers. Roy much better in the lead position, but Kopinski all over him.
Oh, man, Kopinski really put on a show for us right there. I think he did an excellent job. Maybe not so in the first half, but he definitely pulled it together in the second half of that run. Ooh, looking at the replay right now. Tim, what do you see there?
I see Kopinski is just doing everything he can to try to take the win. Both drivers looking better this time around, but right now we're watching actually the first of the two battles in the replay. This isn't the battle we just watched, but right now what we're seeing is Roy making all the mistakes that may have caused him to lose this battle.
Yeah, in fact, we did just get word. Joseph Kopinski in the red 350Z gets the win.
All right, Kopinski getting the win. Our next battle is going to be Jeremy is going to lead versus Yanis.
Giannis.
Giannis is going to give chase.
So I actually don't have Jeremy's last name or Giannis's last name, so we're just going to try our best here. Jeremy out in front in the dark purple 350Z. Giannis in the yellow 350Z chasing him down. Solid job by both drivers in filling in the outer zone. Follow driver was right on the door, but starting to lose some ground now. And now through the transition, we see our lead driver, Jeremy, really start to fly away. Giannis struggling to keep up. Maybe he can make some ground up through outer zone 3. I'm seeing a little bit of a straighten in. Went way too deep. Way too deep, and has now contacted those plastic barriers again in outer zone 3. So he's not able to complete his run. I don't think there was contact because there's a bus link between them. So
right.
I think we're pretty safe to say that Jeremy out in front in that dark or black or purple or whatever you want to call it, the one with the blue neons, will definitely have an advantage. Let's see on the replay what happened to Yanis. Tim, what do you think?
I mean, just right from the chase position, falling way back and then having to try to get more aggressive to gain that proximity, overcooking the third outer zone and making contact right there. And, of course, it's not a good day.
Yeah, you hate to see that because even though that those are plastic barriers, they can still sometimes do some damage to the car. So, all these drivers put in a ton of time, effort, and money into their cars. So let's hope that Giannis in the yellow 350Z doesn't have any substantial damage and just, cosmetic blemishes. Battle scars, as we like to sometimes say.
Yeah, well, it does. I already see Jeremy at the line in the chase position. So it looks like he's ready to go, locked and loaded. It got the neon glow. That's one of the things I love about drifting is you just kind of bring your own style, right? You can get crazy, you know.
Your own personality too.
Your own personality, and it's what we used to call back in the day very rice, very ricey, but like I've always loved it.
It's just time to embrace it, you know.
Yes, embrace the rice.
Say what you want to say to the haters. Embrace it.
Hate is gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. So Giannis back to the line. Now a lead, sitting on a huge deduction. Jeremy sitting nice with the neons and the dark purple, black, blue, whatever you want to call it, 350Z. He'll give chase. Looks like we're about ready for the second half of this run. Giannis really needs to impress the judges. It's hard to do that in the lead position too, unless Jeremy makes a mistake. I think the nail's in the coffin on this one.
Yeah, Giannis is gonna have to try to just get a good head start out of the gate and try to put some distance between Giannis and Jeremy if they create that distance. But right now it's just a really major deficit in order to overcome. Can it happen? Yeah. Likely? Probably not.
Probably not. So Giannis out in front. He'll take it away on the second half of this top 32 battle. Giannis in the yellow 350Z. Good initiation, but super late by Jeremy. Maybe this is what Giannis has been hoping for, but Jeremy really struggled to get sideways in time. Has some little struggles in outer zone too, but looks like he's back in the groove through the back transition. Giannis grabbing a little handbrake. Jeremy too through outer zone 3. Let's see if he can't pull it together right in front of the judges. Right in outer zone 4. Jeremy starting to make a late lunge. Woo!
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if that's enough. Jeremy definitely was late on initiation and had a couple hiccups. Yeah, he barely got sideways. That's a tough one to call. Now here at the transition, if you look on the replay, he kind of bobbled around a little bit, turned in, turned out. But let's see what the judges say. I don't know if it's going to be enough, Tim. What do you think?
I don't know. Very lazy initiation by Jeremy and really not doing what he needed to do in order to solidify his victory here. Did make it around the course, so most likely will be enough. But again, we're going to have to wait until the judges come back with it.
So the judges have come back. Jeremy in the black 350Z gets the win. Giannis eliminated from the top 32, unfortunately. That crash in the back and not completing his chase run wasn't good.
No.
So we move on. John Porto out in front. Paul Johnson chasing him down. Here we go. Next battle of the top 32. Big angle by John Porto and having to rotate.
Oh, it's
Woo! Paul Johnson
what is going
avoiding
on there?
Collision.
We still want to get a replay and see what happened on that initiation.
Let's see. I mean, there is a lot going on right off the line. We're looking at the replay. Paul Johnson in the E46 BMW chasing behind. John Porto initiates. And then, it does look like there's a little contact.
Well, I mean, if he touches the front tire, it could potentially break the front of the vehicle and cause the spin. I don't know. It's getting a little too aggressive too early, maybe. Might have just...
I mean, he has the rest of the run to really, put down a solid show for the judges
right here,
and for you
touching
guys.
That front tire, kind of like braking, almost putting too much front brake on.
Looked like it,
so
yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see what the judges, how they'll analyze that and deem who was at fault for that.
All right, so John Porto was out front on that run in the convertible S13. Paul Johnson back behind in the coupe in the BMW, in the black BMW E46. Man, you hate to see this where it just gets a little sloppy on the first run. We want to see a show. OSW, do you guys want to see a show? Here we go. We're still here. We're still warm. We're still hanging out. We're still see some awesome drifting. This is only the first half. We got another round of 16 battles to go. Like, this is not even close to the end.
Nope.
Okay, the first one was my wife. The second one, I don't know.
Well, maybe she just changed her voice. I don't know. It was a little deeper, though. That's funny. Always a good time here at King of OSW. People coming here and just sharing drinks, spreading love, having some good food and some
Good old
laughs.
grassroots drifting.
That's where it's at, man. All right, so this is the second half of this battle, I assume, here between Paul and John. Paul Johnson will be leading, and John Porto will be giving chase. And away they go. All right, Paul out front. Nice aggressive initiation this time. And can John catch up in the chase position? Definitely looks like we're going to get a full pull here. Unfortunately, just didn't even make it through the first outside zone on the first half of this battle. So it's going to be interesting. It may all come down to this half of the battle as both drivers make their way through the back section, and Paul really running nice and wide, and John diving in, trying to close that gap. Both drivers' final transition. Here we go. Paul running nice and wide along that wall, but John is all over him. Give it up for Paul and John as they make their way off the course.
Woo! John definitely, I mean, man, he went in with confidence, had a couple mistakes, but I think at the end, when we see it in the replay, I think that's really when we start to see his follow run really start to come together. But I think there can only be one winner here. John Porto gets the win. John Porto gets the win. Wow. And the black 240SX convertible with Drift HQ and all that good stuff.
All right, so if Porto gets the win, it seems like that collision was faulted to Johnson. So unfortunately taking himself out of competition. Our next battle is Lopez is going to be leading, and Acosta will be giving chase.
Absolutely. Rob Lopez out in front. Pedro Acosta right behind him in chase. Big wide entry. Rob Lopez in the chartreuse E36 or E36 BMW putting down a solid run. But look at Pedro Acosta really chasing him down in the silver 350Z. I can see reflections of his headlights in the door of Rob Lopez out in front. I love to see that because that means proximity. Good lunge in the second half of the course. Right on the door, but will he be able to keep it together through outer zone 3? Now we see Rob Lopez. He needs to go nice and wide through outer zone 4, which he exactly does. But look at the proximity of Pedro Acosta. Make some noise, King of OSW. Orlando Speedboat, make some noise, because that's what we like to see for the King of OSW.
Oh, just an amazing job by both drivers. Acosta really applying that pressure. I mean, he was all over Lopez in that, but look how close they are right there, just barely, maybe a foot or so in between both vehicles through that second outside zone. Smooth transitions and really diving in for the tack right here. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. It looked like there's almost a little bit of a little bump action there. And you see some sparks and fire coming out from the back of Lopez's vehicle. Acosta's vehicle. Acosta, very aggressive. Good job.
Both cars lit it up, and I love to see that. This is only a top 32 battle, but we're getting some really good quality battles here. Oh, man. Love to see this one run again. I don't think either driver has an advantage or a disadvantage. I think both left it out there on the track, and I love to see that. Now they'll switch it up. Rob Lopez and the yellow chartreuse BMW E36 will now chase down Pedro Acosta in the silver 350Z.
Right now it's anybody's game. Who is going to advance on to the top 16?
So here we go. Acosta out in front. Rob Lopez chasing him down. Solid initiation by both drivers, filling in the outer zone 1 just as we expected. But look at the grays from Rob Lopez in the transition into outer zone 2. Love to see him try to touch the rear bumper again through the transition right on the rear of Pedro Acosta's Rob Lopez. But now through outer zone 3, a little deep by Pedro Acosta, but let's see what he can do now into outer zone 3, outer zone 4. Man.
I don't know, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to call because both drivers extremely aggressive. Rob Lopez trying to match that aggression into chase position, almost not so much around that first outside zone, but towards the end of that first outside zone, inches away during transition, cutting the line there, very shallow, trying to keep that proximity as he made his way through that second outer zone. But, Acosta is just doing an amazing job putting the car where it needs to be in lead position, giving Rob Lopez the opportunity to be aggressive, get right in there and attack from the chase position, but again, running very shallow.
This could be a one more time, but I think we have a decision by the judges. Pedro in the silver 350Z gets the win. Pedro Acosta gets the win. Rob Lopez, oh man, I want to know what went wrong. I think both drivers did a really good job. I'll love to hear maybe later from the judges on.
Yeah, interesting. Man. Well, our next battle right now, Webb is going to be lead position and Nunez in the chase position.
Jackson Webb out in front, Flea Nunez chasing him down, and the copper 350Z. Jackson Webb and the yellow C6 Corvette looking pretty solid out in front. I'm seeing nothing too crazy, but we'd love to see some more proximity from Flea Nunez. Solid job in rolling into outer zone 3. We see Flea Nunez still kind of keeping in check in the chase position. Going a little deep, but not a lot of proximity on that one.
No, could have been a little more aggressive in the chase position. Nunez is going to have to try to put out a stellar lead run to take home this victory because just not putting – and that's not bad, right? But we've just seen at this level, in order to take home that crown, you got to be aggressive. You got to be door-to-door. And I just don't think Nunez was able to do that in the chase position. But Webb looked like he had a solid lead run, kind of midline throughout the course. Again, it is cold, so the cars are starting to push more midline. Nonetheless, very smooth transitions. We'll see what happens in this next battle.
Nothing extraordinary, but good enough.
Correct. Is it enough to take home the win? Well, we're going to find out.
They have to run it again, so the lead will become the chase, and the chase will become the lead. Nunez will have a chance to put down that really good lead run that he needs to secure that win, but that's only if Jackson Webb can't keep up with him in the chase position in the yellow C6 Corvette. So let's see what happens. They're lining up now. Looks like we're about ready to run the second half of this top 32 battle. Are we almost at the end? We got 2 more battles to go.
2 more battles to finish off the top 32.
Woo, this is going to be a good one. So Nunez out in front in the Copper 350Z. Oh, no, we have just total understeer from Jackson Webb. Just went straight into the barrier, but Nunez is out in front.
I think he found a shortcut.
You know, that's not the shortcut that I think he was expecting to take, and unfortunately for Jackson Webb, that's going to bow him out early before he could complete the run. And Nunez starting to come alive there in outer zone 4.
Yeah, unlike Mario Kart, no shortcuts are allowed.
No, what happened? Jackson Webb, here's the initiation. It looks like he tapped the brakes just a little bit. Understeer. Tried to crank the wheel and just went straight into the barrier. So, understeered into the barriers. I think we have confirmation that Nunez gets the win.
All right, Nunez gets the win. Webb essentially taking himself out of competition. Next battle we have is going to be Sagini versus Moita.
Yeah, I think they're like related in some way. Like they live at the same house. I don't know the whole story. If someone wants to fill me in, because I think they are like family or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to get a little backstory later on. But Sagini versus Moita, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Sagini will lead, and Moita will give chase. If I'm reading your handwriting correctly.
I'm trying my best.
Yes. We can do what we can do. I feel like I stepped out of the refrigerator and into the freezer. Like it dropped significantly in the last half hour.
Yeah, this is definitely typical cold front Florida weather, and then it's going to be back in the 80s next week. So yeah,
go figure.
Yep. So I believe we have Pedro out in front, Moita in chase. Here we go. Second to last battle of the top 32. 2 pink TF cars. Again, I'm pretty sure they are family in some way. They obviously have the same livery, so that must make them close. But let's see if they can't get closer here in the first run of this battle. The 350Z right on the door of the 370. Now through the transition into the second half of the course. We're seeing just a little bit of a, looked like the car shut down. Looked like an electrical issue. I saw flickering of the headlights. So that 370, the Pedro 370Z, is cruising on to an easy advantage. Looked like an electrical problem or something because I saw flickering headlights.
Yeah, what a shame.
Did you guys see that too?
Yeah, what a shame here. But watch the replay. Is that Pedro Sagini out front? And
Pedro out in front, Moita chasing.
Moita chasing. Moita doing a great job in the chase position right here. I mean, it's closer than a capital I and a lowercase L right there. Boom. My goodness. As they make their way through that second outside zone. But unfortunately, whatever electrical issue is plaguing the vehicle, yes, there you go, right in the live stream replay, you see the vehicle's lights shut off and come back on.
So now, since he didn't finish his chase run, he's going to be at a super big disadvantage for his lead run for this second half. Possibly not being able to win this battle because his car just having a mechanical issue, right?
That's what it looks like. We can only assume.
That's kind of the beauty of these drifting competitions. It's not just man and machine, it's man with machine trying to secure a victory. The car has to get through the finish line just as much as the driver has to apply the pressure and really show the judges what they want to see. So, it's tough, but it happens.
It is, especially as a driver. You need to be able to put all your focus on driving and making sure you're doing everything you need to do in the driver's seat. When you have any type of mechanical issue plaguing your mind, it almost puts a handicap on you, and it makes it difficult to really give it your all because you kind of got that in the back of your mind, right? Is there a mechanical issue? Is this going to fault? Now, is this something new? I don't know. Right now, I only see one driver up to the line, and I'm assuming that is Moita, because that Moita was in the chase position.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be leading. So
this looks like Pedro.
Oh, okay.
But I think
the
he might be
vehicle's-
repositioning in his car. Yeah.
Wrong lane.
So Pedro was out in front. Moita will now be in front.
That makes more sense, even though the cars are identical. Oh, man. There you go.
No, Tim. One is a 370 and the other is a 350Z.
Okay, potato, whatever. But yes, I'll go with that. Yes, same livery for me. From here, it looks the same. But yes, I stand correct.
So Moita, with the mechanical problem on the previous run, will now lead, and he is off with Pedro. Possible family member chasing there behind. Little bit of understeer by Pedro in the initiation, but Moita looks like everything is back to normal. Cruising through outer zone 2 quite nicely. Pedro, though, lagging behind, but that probably won't be that big of an issue because he's sitting on a huge advantage. Now in the second half of the course, Moita having the same problem. I see a flicker, but looks like he's able to keep the car running. The same headlight flicker again in the same spot. But looks like, spin at the end. Is that past the finish line?
I think so.
Yeah, it's
It
past
looked
the
like it
finish
was
line.
on purpose.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we look at the replay here. Not enough proximity through that first outside zone. As Moita's doing a good job in the lead position, and Sagini is trying to close that gap. A little shallow, trying to keep that speed to gain proximity. Again, as you pointed out, it did look like a little flash, flicker of the lights, but the vehicle didn't shut off this time. Able to hold it together in lead position and get a full pull. So it's going to be interesting to see who will, I'm assuming. Oh, you're getting word?
So the 370Z gets the win. 370 is Pedro.
Pedro Sagini.
Yes, Pedro gets the win.
Pedro gets the win. We'll go with Pedro gets the win.
Yes, so not enough to impress the judges. Moita, unfortunately, his car shutting off in the middle is not good. All right, so Marvin Rodriguez and Cameron Nunez. This is that Miata again, right?
Yeah, so yeah, it's Rodriguez in the lead position and Nunez in the chase position. All right, looks like away they go.
Solid. So we have Marvin out in front. Marvin Rodriguez initiating with that silver E46 BMW. But the Miata, driven by Cameron Nunez, applying the pressure, giving a little bit of room, but not too much. Right there on the transition, hanging around. Not too far, but definitely applying the pressure. Now as they transition, that E46 really makes a big power lunge into outer zone 3. But the Miata is able to keep up as well. Now as they transition into outer zone 4, the Miata making a big lunge right in front, door to door, wheel to wheel. Make some noise, OSW, for Cameron Nunez and Marvin Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Walk us through what we just saw.
Well, Cameron really doing a good job mimicking angle, staying in the pocket, not getting in the way of transitions, putting the car exactly where it needs to be. Rodriguez doing a great job in the lead position, but right now I think what's sticking out is Cameron, how well he's able to mimic, pull out of the pocket, dive back in the pocket, very strategic, very surgically as they make their way throughout the course. So I really think right now Nunez may have the advantage.
He's like a little mole. He just pops out in whatever hole he got. He's just ready to pounce. So
Like a little
Nunez
prairie
will now
dog.
lead. Prairie dog would be a better. Yeah, moles can sometimes have negative connotations.
I wasn't even thinking of that, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see where you went with that. Yeah.
Prairie dog.
Yeah, prairie dog.
I'll take it.
Prairie dogs.
All right, so Cameron Nunez and the Miata will now be in front. possibly sitting on an advantage with the E46, the silver E46 BMW Marvin Rodriguez chasing behind.
It's been an exciting night so far. Hey, crowd at OSW, you guys having a good time? That's right. We're having a great time. And Cameron, can he take home the win against Marvin as both drivers make their way throughout that first outside zone? Wow, Marvin trying to apply the same pressure that Cameron did in the previous run, but it looks like Cameron may be able to pull a little gap between both vehicles as they make their way through that transition on the back section. Wow, Cameron's starting to get some smoke out of the back of that tiny little Miata as he's kind of pulling away a little bit, keeping a car-soaked gap in between two, coming a little offline, but look at him rocket through that fourth outer zone. Wow, Cameron and Marvin making their way off the course, but right now I really think Cameron is...
Oh, man, I would hate to be a judge right now, but Cameron definitely put down the power in the Miata. Crowd, do you think that the Miata got the win? What about the BMW? Make some noise for the BMW. Ooh, yeah, I think it's a little Miata that will, in fact, move on to the next round of King of OSW here for Black Friday Drift. We are moving into the top 16 bracket. We're going to take a quick 4.5 minute break. So don't go anywhere. Run to the bathroom if you must. But we'll be back with the top 16 bracket here for King of OSW.
Maybe. Oh, okay.
Do you really want me to do karaoke?
Huh? Oh, so, well, I don't know. It's been rumored. Is it here? Can we announce it now, Steve-O?
I will believe it when I see it.
Well, so Steve-O is in doubt that there actually is a mechanical bull in that trailer. Those of you guys that are watching online, if you can get here now, right? Because mechanical bull, like, for real. So are you gonna admit? Is it here?
Maybe. I mean, he's got a trailer and supposedly a mechanical bull by a big time party.
Are we not allowed to announce it? Is there something I don't know about?
I don't know. You just gotta wait and see.
Oh,
Got to stick around to the end.
Oh, I see what you're doing here. You're teasing us. You're a little tease.
Something like that.
All right, but it looks like we're about to start the top 16 portion of the battle. Ryan Acevedo versus Steven Tassinero. Ryan Acevedo is going to lead.
I think this might be a final from a King of OSW like years ago. So like Ryan Acevedo has, I think, won King of OSW multiple times.
No, I think Ryan Acevedo is. I think
It's just the first time?
That was his first.
Okay, so maybe it was when Tassinero won it.
Tassinero is a previous king. So it's old king versus new king. You know, old lion versus young lion. Who's going to win?
I mean, both of them are pretty young, so I don't think either of them are like old lions.
Well, I guess you're right about that. But you know, previous king, new king. We're going with the established kingship. Who has held the throne longer? And King Ryan, as you can see on the screen, will be leading versus Steven Tassinero. All right, here we go.
So they are both off. Tassinero chasing down Ryan Acevedo in the black 350Z, and the black S14 chasing down is Steven Tassinero through outer zone 2. Nice proximity. Now for the transition. This is what's been getting a lot of drivers, but look at Tassinero right on the rear bumper through the transition, makes a lunge, takes a step back, finds what groove he wants to cruise through, because this is where it matters. Right in front of the judges, outer zone 4, Ryan Acevedo cruises through with Tassinero not too far behind.
Skid Row Ramen.
Wow.
Just amazing. This is what OSW, I'm sorry, I got to get back on task here, but we're watching the replay here. Ryan Acevedo doing a great job in the lead position, but Stefan Tassinero just applying that pressure. Ryan choosing not to bring Excalibur to this battle may cost him in the end, but again, with his weapon of choice, he's doing very well. Running a little shallow through that third outside zone. Stefan Tassinero just with him every step of the way. It's going to be interesting to see the second half of this battle. Can Ryan Acevedo get one step closer to reclaiming that throne, or will the previous king take him out? Well, we're about ready to see as we shove some Skid Row ramen down our throats.
Oh, yeah. Don't change your channel. These are just ramen noises.
Yes. We apologize.
Yep.
Those of you guys on the live stream.
Turn it down if mom's in town.
It's cold. All right, here we go. Stefan Tassinero out front. Ryan Acevedo, the reigning king, trying to attack from the chase position. Look at Stefan Tassinero in that lead position, completely filling out that first outside zone. But Ryan Acevedo right there step by step as they make their way through that second outside zone. Both drivers getting ready to attack the back of the course here. Quick little flick past that inside clip, and away they go into that third and final outer zone. Ryan Acevedo trying to dive in for the attack, but Stefan Tassinero completely filling out that third and final outer zone. And give it up for Stefan Tassinero and Ryan Acevedo as they make their way right off the course. Wow. Can it get any closer?
I don't know. I thought that was incredible. Both drivers initiating quite almost at the same time. Tassinero doing a solid job out in front, but Ryan Acevedo really dying in the proximity. Gets a little shaky here or there, but continues to keep on the back bumper of Tassinero. Looks like he did knock over a couple cones through the transition. I did see that cone flying, Tim. What happens to that? Sorry, he's in the middle of eating ramen. So I think what happens is, you hit a cone, it's like hitting a wall. That might be a big old goose egg. So,
we're about to find out
So it does go to the judges now. This is run 2 of the very first top 16 battle. Do we have a decision, judges? Steven Tassinero gets the win.
Wow.
Steven Tassinero knocks out the king. The former king is dethroned.
Wow. So we're going to have a new king, folks. Ryan Acevedo choosing not to bring Excalibur just caused him another year of reign as king.
Oh, man, that's really tough. It did kind of look like it was down to Ryan Acevedo in his chase run hitting the cones in the back transition. I know it's kind of hard to see, but the drone, the proof was in the pudding.
That's right. So right now we have Chris Sakar, I believe, and Chris Rios. Chris versus Chris.
Battle of the Chris's.
Yep. It's going to get crisscrossed.
Oh, now you're confusing me.
I don't know. Anyways, well, I'm a dad. What can you do? It's been an exciting night, been a cold night, and it just got infinitely better, and I am getting nice and warm now with my Skid Row ramen. Got a shout out to them. I still got the sticker from I think a year or two ago on my cup. I'm going to rock that sucker as long as I can. And just a great bunch of people out here, all the sponsors that have jumped on board to keep this King of OSW going, keeping it just keep the dream alive.
Not just that, all the drivers. The drivers actually pitched in this year towards a big pot for the winner. Something like $1,600 goes home to the new king, which now we know there's going to be a new king. So we know, fortunately, Ryan Acevedo and the rest of the people that have gotten knocked out won't be winning King of OSW. But we're already off to the next run. Ooh, here we go.
Rios.
Chris Rios chasing down Chris Sakar out in front in the yellow IS-300. Chris Rios, a former King of OSW, knows how it feels to really, brag around the town with the King of OSW crown. But looks like Chris Sakar is doing a great job of navigating the course. Maybe a little bit slow, giving the opportunity for Chris Rios to grab in there and really take an advantage of the the speed that is out in front. But the first run of the Battle of the Chris's looks like Chris Rios is ready to pounce.
There could be only one, but right now I will tell you, Rios, there's blood in the water. He knows that Ryan Acevedo has been taken out. This King of OSW's crown is up for grabs, and he wants to reclaim his throne. But look at him. I mean, unbelievable in the chase position, just all over Chris Sakar as they make their way through that third outer zone. But my goodness, Rios doing a great job trying to mimic angle, trying to maintain control of that vehicle and get inches during transition. But Sakar doing a great job staying nice and wide.
Looks like he's done this before.
I think they have. Sakar, I don't know if I've seen him in previous competitions, but I will tell you, he definitely looks like he has what it takes to go all the way to the top.
Yeah, still a big opportunity for him. Now they'll be switching it up. So Chris Sakar in the yellow IS-300 there on the right will be challenging and chasing down Chris Rios on the left in the red 350Z. I don't know where this one will go because Chris Rios was super aggressive in chase, but now it's time for Chris Sakar to do exactly the same. Here we go. Good initiation by Chris Rios. Late initiation by Chris Sakar. Chris Rios, big gap is building.
If Sakar doesn't get it together, I mean, he is just handing Chris Rios the win as Chris Rios seems like he's running away with it.
Yeah, running away with it. He is through the back transition. Nice big transition through into outer zone 3. About a bus length between Chris Rios and Chris Sakar. Put the nail in the coffin. I think that's all she wrote, man.
Wow. All I could say is that was a big old gap right there. Gapplebees, gaps for days.
That was gaptacular.
Appetizers, gaptacular.
Gaptastic.
Everything that you can possibly.
But that's what it takes here at King of OSW. You just can't kind of, mosey around. Oh, I'll catch up to him in the next corner. No, you have to be on his door the whole entire time.
Yeah. I think we have a winner. Or we're still waiting.
Chris Rios gets the win. Chris Rios will move on, and Chris Sakar, unfortunately, being eliminated, but still good effort. But we'll move on to the next round. Will be Chris Rios. But the next battle will be Camel against JC, and here we go. They're already off. We're already on to the next battle. Camel out in front, JC, and chasing down in the white G35. A little bit of a strain, but good job by Camel filling in that outer zone 1. Now as they transition, JC, a little tap of the brakes, but gets right on the door of Camel. Solid job by both drivers. Oh, JC losing it just a little bit there in the transition, but Camel cruising through on his lead run, doing exactly what he needs to do. Camel with the big wing out in front in the green 240SX S13
Whoa!
finishing off his run. JC shutting it down early. Make some noise, OSW, for Camel and JC. Camel, though.
Wow.
Oh.
Camel doing a great job in the lead position. JC trying to be aggressive, a lot of bobbling right through that first outside zone. Getting back in it to try to apply that pressure again. Very shallow angle, but he's trying to utilize that shallow angle in order to gain that proximity. He does. He gets right on Camel from the chase position, but Camel is just throwing down a heater of a lead run, and JC just way shallow, just really shallowing up angle. And here you see right at the final outer zone, like he is just out of place 100%. Almost coming like to the point where he's going to get in front of Camel, not where he needs to be. So right now, I definitely say going into the second half of this battle, Camel is going to have the advantage, and it's really going to be up to JC to be able to overcome the deficit.
Let's see what they can do. They will switch it up. JC in the white G35 now will lead. Camel giving chase in the big wing green S13 240SX. Good initiation. So far, so good. But Camel, I think he wants to win and he wants to move on. So this is the time to prove it to the judges. Now going through outer zone 2, we see Camel dropping back a little bit. JC a little shallow. Let's see what they can do through the transition into the second half of the course. Big power lunge by Camel.
Whoa! Oh, that one. It's like he didn't stop. Like he was like it was like a little bit of drifting, a little bit of monster truck going on. JC just really taking out those barriers as Camel gets a full pull.
Tommy, what did you put in those barriers? Why is everyone crashing into them?
Magnets. Go figure. It's a tractor beam.
Oh man, JC looking good in his lead run. Nothing too big to complain about. As we're looking at the replay, Camel is starting to lag behind a little bit more than the judges want to see. But this is where he starts to make the power lunge. JC also applies the power, but unfortunately looks like he just understeers right into him.
Boom.
This is the third time that we've seen that. Fourth time, I think, so far.
Yeah, I think JC needs to get one of those stickers that Camel has on the back of his vehicle. It says, whoops. As you can see right there, whoops.
Whoops,
Maybe,
and JC goes
can
off.
get one of those stickers.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be his night to move on to the King of OSW, so I think it's going to be pretty obvious. Camel gets the win, humping his way into the top 8.
This really hits the spot.
Also, shout out to the ramen. The ramen has been fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, we got our next battle pulling up to the line. It looks like it's going to be Jason Cocello versus Alex Arando. Jason will be leading, and I believe that is Alex Arando will be giving chase.
Adam Arando.
Adam,
I'm sorry.
Adam.
It's okay.
No,
There's
okay.
a bunch of Alexes. I'm a little behind on some of my notes, but don't worry. Jason in the 350Z will be out in front. He's got the neons on.
Who? I don't know if he's going to be able to do it because he's got so much going on. That's true. Yeah. You want some run?
Ryan Acevedo already turning in his crown and staff. So he already knows he's out of the competition. He's already dealt with it emotionally, mentally, maybe physically too.
Maybe.
So nonetheless, Camel moves on. We'll move on to our next battle as soon as we are all ready to go.
Yeah.
Have to do a little bit of cleanup with those barriers there in the back. I mean, this is like the third or fourth crash, I mean, it's a good indicator, right? Yeah, it's a good indicator of how deep some of these drivers are going. But
they're really trying to push it, aren't they? They're really going all out, trying to. Oh, look at that!
No, take this thing off. I don't deserve any of this.
Oh, look at that! Oh, he's cold. He needs his head to be warmed and.
This is very sweet and all, but I don't deserve any of this.
Well, you may not deserve it, but for now, you are king, and you're going to have to hold it because Ryan Acevedo has been taken out.
All right.
Enjoy this short kingship.
So
fire.
you're saying that I'm king now?
For right now, yeah.
What can I like in the time that it takes to do this competition?
If
So I can do whatever I want.
King, you can get a free Whopper, but
What?
you got to get there now.
No.
I'm just saying.
Well, what am I doing here?
You're going to stay because you're going to do the right thing, and you're going to commentate with me as Jason is out front. Adam is chasing down. Jason in the chase position. Oh, my gosh. Adam really falling apart in that chase position. Not able to get a nice full drifter on that first outside zone. And Jason is doing what he needs to do in the lead position. Both drivers making their way past that inside clip as they make their way to that third outer zone. Jason doing a good job filling out that third outside zone. And Adam doing whatever he can to try to apply that pressure, but it might be too little too late as both drivers make their way off the course. Give it up for Jason Cocello and Adam Arando.
Woo! That was good. I mean, there was a little bit of, here or there.
You're looking comfortable in that.
Now that I'm king, I might, start to, make things how I see them.
Oh, you're going to call the wins now, huh?
Yeah, so if, the judges might say one driver wins, but if the king thinks otherwise, well, I've been given those powers, so therefore I think, whatever I say happens. But nonetheless, what happens on the track is more important.
Yes.
Good run. I think Jason Cocello did a good job, but, the follow position was sometimes here, sometimes there. Tim, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I've seen Arando going off course and taking out some cones here and there. I don't think it was the smoothest run from either driver. I think there's definitely room for improvement. So as both drivers make their way up to the line, Adam is going to lead, and Jason Cocello is going to give chase. It's going to really come down to, I think, this final half of the battle.
Yeah, I want to say probably run one was a wash. Neither driver did better or worse than the other. So it might come down to this. Maybe some of the judges feel like one driver did better in the first run, but nonetheless. What? I saw the same run that you were saying. I'm king now.
Oh.
I'm king.
So you tell me. What do you think?
I think you should. Okay, maybe you should take this. I can't handle these powers.
It's definitely going to his head. The power.
The crown has fused into my brain.
Yeah, it's
I feel like the power has gone to me.
Yes. I think very quick.
That's all it takes. I mean, I saw Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I haven't gone into it yet. Believe that?
It's a good series.
I know. It's on the list of many others.
Yeah.
All right. It looks like the judges are ready.
So Jason Cocello will be chasing down Adam and the purple 350Z. Both these cars, neither there. The proximity with Jason Cocello on this next run, on this follow run, is doing a lot nicer than the previous run. So I think we have a reason to, maybe consider this as Jason Cocello's chance to impress the judges. Big, deep line by Adam and the purple 350Z out in front. But big lunge by Jason Cocello at the end. A big understeer as well. With the lunge comes the understeer. Oh, man. I hate to see that because I see the effort, I see the passion, I see the driving, but then it results in...
I guess they're just not worthy.
I guess they're not worthy.
See. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. But we're watching that replay.
Jason Cocello gets the win, though.
There you go. Jason doing what he needs to do and being able to take home the victory and move his way into the top 8. And now we're on our second half of the top 16 bracket. Looks like it's going to be Corey Graddick versus Kopinski. Joseph Kopinski.
Yep, Joseph Kopinski. We saw him in the previous set. They're already off.
Oh, they're already on the course.
So let's go. Corey Graddick out in front in the Mustang. Kopinski chasing down in the red 370Z. Solid job of swinging out into the outer zone 2 is Corey Graddick. Now through the back transition. Looks like there was contact with the cone and couldn't figure out if it was a lead or a rear or a follow driver. But solid job by Corey Graddick out in front in the Mustang and just continuing on course. But look at the proximity at the end. Make some noise for Corey Graddick and Joseph Kopinski. This is a pretty good battle. What do you think?
I think it's really a good job for Corey, the way he was able to lead. But I think Joseph Kopinski was really the one to watch here, how he was able to drop back during transitions and dive back in for the attack. It's almost like he's very in control of his vehicle. But then again, a great lead run by Corey. And it's going to come down to the next half of this battle. Kopinski looks like he's doing what he needs to do. As you can see, as they make their way through the final outer zone, would have been nice to see him a little wider there. But look at that little love tap as they make their way off the course. yeah, I mean, it's just heater battle after heater battle, so it's going to be interesting as we wind our way towards the top of the bracket. It's getting exciting.
And really, none of these battles have been bad whatsoever. We're seeing some really skilled drivers come out here and put on a great show for you guys, so we hope that you're having a good time. Are you guys ready to see the second half of this next battle? I know it's getting cold. I know it's getting late. But don't worry, we saw plenty of drift action to go. We just had to clean up a little bit of a mess there on the back transition. But we'll be switching up the drivers. Joseph will now lead. Corey will now chase. Joseph in the red 370Z. What do you think? Does he have a good chance of moving on? He definitely put on the pressure.
Yeah, I really think right now it's going to be Corey. It's going to be eyes on Corey. Can Corey put on the same amount of aggression in the chase position that Joseph Kopinski did? And we're about to find out. Joseph Kopinski out front. Corey trying to dive in the pocket early, and he is. He's trying to let Kopinski know he's not going to walk away with this. Man, Corey diving way shallow through that second outside zone, cutting the course in order to maintain that proximity. Both drivers, nice smooth transition. Kopinski slightly pulling away as they attack that third outer zone. Whoa! Major mistake in the chase position from Corey as they make their way into that fourth and final outer zone. Give it up for Joseph Kopinski and Corey Graddick. I really think Corey just kind of sealed his own fate.
Man, he was looking great and then just kind of fell apart in the second half of the run. We're looking back at the replay, and he had great proximity at the start, but I think this is where he starts to lose it. Big bobble, cuts the corner in outer zone 2, just completely forgets that he's trying to drift here. And then through the second half of the run, I think it just kind of starts to deteriorate from there. So we have a winner.
Kopinski. I don't know. Is he throwing his gang languages? I'm not too sure.
The 370Z,
Okay.
Joseph Kopinski
all right.
gets the win.
I thought we were gonna. Yeah, I thought it was like Thug Nation over here. I'm like, what is he throwing? What kind of gang signs are these?
All right, so still cruising through our top 16. We have 1, 2, 3 more battles of top 16, and then we'll move into the top 8. And then don't you worry, it goes real fast from there. So we're already on to our next battle. Jeremy against John Porto. Jeremy out in front with the neons, and John Porto and the convertible S13 looking really good, but starting to lag behind. If only he was about 10 feet closer to the lead driver, will this really be an impactful run? But looks like Jeremy out in front is doing a really solid job of gaining some proximity. Goes kind of wide, shallows up some angle. John Porto gives the opportunity to John Porto to really gain that proximity back and then put on a show for you guys there at the end. Make some noise, OSW, for John Porto and Jeremy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as we watch a replay. Jeremy doing a pretty good job. Looks like he's pretty far out, and Porto's really trying to close that gap. Both drivers midline through that first outside zone. Smooth transitions, not the proximity we would like to see from Porto, but he is able to cut the line a little bit to try to gain some proximity, but just Jeremy's back on the throttle and able to pull back away as they both attack that third outer zone. And whoa, Jeremy getting dangerously close to that barrier that's been just kind of wreaking havoc on a lot of drivers. And they make that final transition. As you can see, Jeremy doing a good job running nice wide line, and Porto staying there almost in the pocket, but not quite where he needed to be.
Yeah, not quite, but I think it's still good enough.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
It comes down to this next run. That's right. Each driver gets one chance to lead, one chance to follow. So 2 runs to a battle. This is the second half of the top 16. Jeremy will now chase down John Porto and the convertible S13. I think we saw some great driving by both. I think John's run got kind of, like his previous run in the top 32.
Yeah.
Kind of got, we didn't really get to see what he's really made of because of that little collision that he had.
Yeah, I don't know if Porto's having a little problem with his vehicle. He's not quite up to the line. I saw his lights go off. Okay, he's starting to back up a little bit. It was interesting. He started to pull up to the line, and it looked like the vehicle shut off. And then, the lights went out and it came back on, and now he's going the wrong direction.
That's always tough to see because, you want to see these competitors compete, no doubt about it. But, when the machine, when the car, when whatever, and the driveline and the electrical system starts to fail you.
Oh, well, I guess
man,
that's
it's
it.
a buy run.
Yeah, so it looks like Jeremy is going to get the win. as Porto having mechanical issues, having to pull out of competition. Unfortunately for Porto, I know you don't want to go out like that, and I'm sure Jeremy doesn't want to win like that, but he'll take the win nonetheless and get himself one step closer to the crown.
Man, those drone shots are always so cool.
Indeed.
All right, so we're already on to our next battle. We have Pedro Acosta against Flea Nunez.
Flea?
Yeah, Flea.
Oh, okay.
Flea Nunez, and there's Cameron Nunez in the Miata, but Flea Nunez.
It's going to be interesting. Okay, so looks like Acosta will be leading. Nunez will be giving chase.
You even laminated them?
Gotta keep them laminated. Sorry.
It was good. It was. I saw what you were trying to do. So Pedro Acosta out in front. Nunez will chase down Pedro Acosta out in the silver 350Z. Doing a good job of filling in. This is where we saw Flea Nunez struggle a little bit on the previous battle. He wasn't able to kind of keep chase and keep proximity. Unfortunately, it seems like it's the same story written here. Nunez struggling to keep up through the transition, but Pedro Acosta in the silver 350Z doing a good job of doing a solid lead run. We saw a little bit of a spin and a straighten from Nunez and the copper 350Z. Oh, man, I hate to see that, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, really the story right here in this battle is Nunez just not doing what he needs to in order to take out his competitor Acosta, putting the vehicle where it needs to be, running a nice smooth line throughout the course, staying nice and deep, but Nunez just getting shaky, kind of bobbling a lot, and as you can see, as he works his way through the second half of the course, just really bobbling, struggling to try to get in the pocket, diving and falling way back, almost spinning out, is Nunez as they made their way through the fourth outer zone. Definitely would say that Acosta is sitting on an advantage as they make their way back up to the start line. It's going to be interesting. I mean, it's going to be Acosta's to lose right now. As long as Pedro can just stay in it to win it and have a full pool, he should walk away with the victory. And Nunez, he's going to have to do everything he can in the lead position to try to leave Pedro in the dust.
Oh, man. So let's see what they can do as they switch it up. Pedro will now chase. Flea Nunez will lead. They're both off. Flea Nunez out in front of the copper 350Z initiates. Not too bad, but we definitely see the aggression and proximity from Pedro Acosta in the silver 350Z, doing a great job filling in and gaining a little proximity, but a little bobble here or there through the exit of outer zone 2. Now through the transition, we start to see a little bit of a lunge here or there. Flea Nunez doing a decent job out in the lead. Nothing overly impressive, but this is where the really needs to shine in front of the judges. Oh, man.
Wow. Yeah, I'll tell you, Flea Nunez, just so much better in the lead position. He needed to do this in the chase position. It's just unfortunately too little too late. I don't see it being enough to be able to take out Acosta. I think Acosta just put the car where he needed to be. He didn't play it too safe. He did still apply pressure, and I think we have a winner.
So Pedro Acosta will get the win. Pedro Acosta will get the win and move on to the next round.
Yes, which is?
The next round is the top 8.
Yep.
But we have one more battle of the top 16. So we still have Pedro Seguini, who we saw in that pink versus pink Z battle. And then Cameron Nunez, another Nunez, in the previous battle with the Miata, doing a great job. But we're already on to it. They're already lined up. Tim, let's do this.
Let's do it. All right. Pedro is going to lead. Cameron is going to give chase. Can Cameron take that little Miata and just take out competitor after competitor? We'll see right now. He's got to get past Pedro Signini as they make their way down the straight. Pedro, nice initiation, but look at Cameron diving already in the pocket, getting aggressive nice and early throughout this course. Looked like a little love tap there during the transition into the second outer zone as both drivers just smooth angle, nice and wide, but look at Cameron all over Pedro as they transition into that third outer zone. Pedro, can he do what he needs to do in order to take out Cameron? But right now, looks like Cameron, that little Miata that can, is just doing an excellent job as Cameron and Pedro come off the course.
Make some noise, OSW, because, wow, what a battle that was. Cameron Nunez and the Miata doing an excellent job from the initiation, from the very first corner. But, man, I have to still applaud Pedro Sagini in the Z, still doing a great job of doing a solid lead run, but still giving the opportunity for Cameron Nunez to get right in there and navigate through the whole entire course and get that proximity that the judges love and the crowd loves too, because, man, Cameron Nunez is looking good in that Miata.
Absolutely. I mean, Cameron doing everything he needs to do in that chase position, applying the pressure. So it's going to come down to the second half of this battle. Can Pedro match that style of aggressiveness in the chase position that Cameron was able to show us? It's going to be interesting. I mean, it's really going to come down to this next run. Who's going to be the last driver to make it into the top 8?
That's a good question, because this is the last battle of the top 16. Pedro will now have a chance to chase down Cameron Nunez in the Miata. Here we go. Cameron Nunez out in front in the copper Miata. Good initiation. Cameron Nunez doing a decent job of filling in the rear zone, but then let's see what Pedro can do in the Z. He's got probably a power advantage right on the door, but kind of leads a little bit off as they transition through the back corner. Now this is where a lot of the drivers have struggled. But look, I think we got some doors tapping there in outer zone 3. Last corner, everyone. Cameron Nunez filling it in nicely, but look who's there. Pedro Sagini in the 370Z.
Wow.
Make some noise, OSW.
Definitely exciting towards the end, but I just don't think Pedro was on Cameron's door as early as he should have been in order to take out Cameron. Cameron just he just seems quicker around the first part of his course, even though Pedro does dive in towards the end of the second outer zone. As you see when they go through this transition, Cameron just kind of puts about a car or so gap between the two, and now it's on Pedro to dive back in the pocket, and he does. As you said, it looked like almost there was some little rubbing going on there, not quite that close as we could see from the drone. Thank God for the drone, right? You really can get up and close. I really think Cameron did what he needed to do to pull a victory. But
let's see what the crowd thinks. Make some noise if you think the Miata made the win. Make some noise if you think the Pink Z got the win. Well, it was close. And Pedro Sagini gets the win. Knocking out Cameron Nunez, and as much as I hate to say it, the Miata has been knocked out of the competition. Pedro will move on to the top 8. Ah, man.
Well,
are we already on to the top 8? I thought we were doing a little breaky break.
I don't think so. I think we're just going for it.
We're just going for it?
Yep.
Then let's send it. So, the top 8 has been settled.
Tasnero versus Chris Rios.
Oh, man, this should be a good battle. I'm going to stand up for this one.
There you go. You got to kind of get the juices flowing.
Got to get the juices flowing, but not only that, I also need to tell you guys what these drivers have the chance to win. They have $500 cash in ones to the first place. Second place gets $325. Third place gets $50. They're buying back. So here we go. Tim, take it off.
All right, Tassanero's out in the lead position. Chris Rios, Chris Rios really taking a shallow line, not doing himself any favors. And Stefan Tassanero looking dialed, completely filling out the course, nice and wide through the outer zones. Chris Rios, that mistake through that first outside zone may have cost him to gain that crown back, but he is getting right on the door of Stefan Tassanero as both drivers transition through that fourth and final outer zone. Give it up for Chris Rios and Stefan Tassanero.
Ooh, man, that was a big mistake at the beginning for Chris Rios. It looked like the initiation, he had some type of little hiccup or something going on there, but he knew that, and he made sure that he didn't disappoint the judges and because he applied as much pressure as he could throughout the rest of the run and really gave us a good show to finish it off. Tim, I don't know. What do you think?
It's really difficult to tell, and it's what was going on, but it really just seemed like Chris. I know he could have done better through that first outside zone. I mean, the rest of the course looks like he was dialed, locked, and loaded, but Stefan Tassinero, I mean, just putting on a clinic of how to run a lead line, running nice and wide through all the zones, smooth transitions, looking solid.
But did Chris Rios do enough at the end?
We'll see. Right now, this is what's going to make or break this battle for Chris Rios. If Stefan Tassinero can outperform that chase of Chris Rios, then I think Stefan Tassinero will advance on. But we're about to find out.
All right, so here we go. Second half of this top 8 battle. Chris Rios initiates real nice with Stephen Tassinero. Not too far behind. Right at the transition, I saw Stephen Tassinero's front bumper just slightly graze Rios, but I think we're gaining a little bit of proximity, or losing a little bit of proximity through that transition with Stephen Tassinero not able to keep up with Chris Rios. He really needs to prove to the judges that he's the one that deserves to move on. Stephen Tassinero applies the pressure at the end. Solid run.
Oh, man, I'll tell you right now, it's like I see some strong points from one driver. Chris Rios had some strong points in the chase position, some weak points in the chase position. I see Stefan Tassinero definitely able to come back stronger in the beginning of the course, but as they make their way halfway through the course, it looked like Chris Rios was able to, after a little tap there by Tassinero around the second outside zone, they were able to increase that gap. So it's going to be interesting to see whose mistake was greater.
So we do have a winner from Madridges. Stephen Tassinero gets the win, knocking out a former king. Chris Rios eliminated from competition. I thought Chris Rios really wanted to win tonight, but a couple mistakes here and there. Unfortunately,
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So Camel now is going to be leading, and looks like Jason Trocello is going to give chase.
That's right. Camel out in front with the big wing on the green S13. Jason Trocello chasing him down in the 350Z. Good job by Camel in filling in the first outer zone. Good job by the follow driver of allowing just enough gap, but might have left too much of a gap because it seemed like he kind of hiccuped. I can't speak.
Hiccuped.
There we go. Hiccuped into the transition, but nonetheless, Camel's back in it. Doing a great job out in front. Jason Trocello doing a great job in the chase as well.
Wow.
Solid.
Yeah,
just
very,
solid.
Very, very solid. I mean, Camel is he really put on a clinic here. I mean, I loved how he attacked that first outside zone and just almost completely filled out that first outside zone. Very smooth angle. But Jason, I mean, he's right there, step by step, allowing Camel to make those transitions and giving him that space and then diving back in the pocket. I'd like to see him a little closer, but nonetheless, I mean, he's there. He's applying that pressure, but Camel, look how he attacks that third outer zone. Way wide, nice, smooth. And I know Camel has got his eyes on that crown, and he's talked about it before in the past. Right now, he's got to get past Jason. And did he do enough? We're about to find out in the second half of this battle.
Yeah, I think both drivers did great. A little bobble from the chase position by Jason, but I think Camel doing exactly what he needs to do and just be patient, go through the moves, and then go through the bracket, and then hopefully he'll see himself at the end. But that's only if he wins this next battle, this battle right here. He's got to have a really good chase position, a really good chase run. So let's see what we can do with Jason Trocello out in front in the Black Z. Good job with the neons. Flashing around in OZ1. Camel doing a good job, though, too, and filling in that gap and chasing him down. I'm seeing a solid line by both drivers, but look at Camel. He's really starting to apply the pressure and go for that attack. Jason Trocello falling in nicely into OZ3. But then here we go. Camel has a chance to pounce. Right at the end in OZ4.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, Camel does a great job looking very smooth, but Jason, very impressive in the lead position. This is a very close battle in my opinion because both drivers look very dialed in lead position. And one thing I will say that I kind of see maybe a little more in Camel, looks a little smooth, match and angle a little better. But, I mean, we're just nitpicking, and it's very subjective. I think both drivers do an amazing job. It's gonna be hard to call. Not something.
All right, we
wanna
do
do.
have a winner though.
Oh, who is it?
So we have Camel getting the win.
Whoa!
Camel getting the win, knocking out Jason Trocella, who came all the way from the unlucky 16. So big ups to Camel and moving forward.
Camera guy, please get out of the camera, please, for me. Who's this guy?
I don't know who's next.
Who is this right here? Okay.
There we go. There we go.
All right,
We're okay. We're
All right,
okay.
there we go. All right, here we go.
All right, so Kopinski out in front with Jeremy and the purple 350Z chasing him down. This is another Z battle. As Z's do well here on the skid pad. Jeremy doing a good job applying some pressure with Kopinski doing a solid job out in front, though. Fast transition by both drivers. Let's see if Jeremy can't lunge in and grab some proximity there at the end. Takes a little bit of a strain, sacrifices a little bit of angle to gain some proximity. But here we go. The lead driver really letting it out there. And OZ4 is Kopinski and Jeremy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Joseph Kopinski has been on rails. I look at the way he initiates nice and wide. I mean, Jeremy is trying to keep that proximity, doing a good job for the most part, not making sure that Kopinski has the space he needs to make those transitions and dive back in the pocket. I'd like to see a little more aggression from Jeremy in the chase position, but Kopinski, I'm telling you, he's just been on rails tonight. He just barely passes that inside clip and then nicely fills out that third outside zone.
Ooh.
And then we see some bobbles from Jeremy in the chase position. Right now, I just think there's a slight advantage to Kopinski going in the second half of this battle.
Man, again, Kopinski putting on a lead driver clinic there. I think he did a really good job. Definitely something that the judges like to see. I think there could have been a little bit of, a few things that could have been improved by both drivers, but I think Kopinski might be sitting on a nice advantage.
Yeah, it looks as if that may be true. Right now, they're going to work their way up to the line and switch positions and go out.
Instagram fame. Oh, I won something.
Yeah.
This is for some serious stuff.
Do we get a winner of the last? Was that?
Oh, yeah, we need a winner from the last one.
Who won the last round? Oh, okay. So Kopinski got the win the last round, so he's going to make it into the top four. We were sidetracked with all that cash. Right now we have Acosta and Pedro on the course. Acosta out front, Pedro giving chase. Both drivers look like they're doing a great job going through that back section as Pedro's going to dive in for the attack. Acosta trying to fend off that attack, making a nice run of that third outer zone. Both cars final transition into that fourth and final outer zone. Acosta completely filling out that fourth outer zone. Great job by both drivers as we're looking for that fourth driver to round out the top four for the finals.
Yeah, this is the last battle of the top 8. So, man, we're cruising through this pretty quick. Looking back at the replay, I think I'm sorry, this isn't Moita. This is his family member, Pedro. Pedro doing a really good job of getting in there in the chase position. Loses a little bit of ground, sacrifices a little angle, sacrifices his line for a little bit more proximity to finish it out. And that's good to see because that puts on a big show, big shallow angle at the end, but regains some proximity and angle at the end. So, good.
Solid run, both lead and chase there. So it's going to come down to the second half of this battle. It's really up in the air right now. I think it's pretty even. I think there was a great lead run, great chase run. Now as they switch it up, well, we're going to see what happens. I mean, we're really getting close to the finals. There's a lot of money there, too.
A lot of cash.
Yeah.
I'd hate to be the bank teller that has to put that all away. Unless
that's going to go to Facebook Marketplace. They're going to buy something on Facebook Marketplace or something. That's
exactly.
Or the casino. You get the casino.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa's a couple hours away.
There you go. All
or
right,
casino cruise. Don't forget about those, too. So here we go. Second half of this top 8 battle. We have Pedro out in front in the pink 370Z. Really initiating quite nice, but don't worry.
Acosta, yeah.
Yeah, the other Pedro. They're both Pedro. Sorry.
Right.
I'm just
right,
realizing that. So Pedro and the silver 350Z. Good late lunge here in the second half. He definitely got gapped at the transition, but don't worry, he regained some position. But look at that snappy transition by the pink 370Z to make up for it. Solid run by both drivers. Put your hands together and make some noise for Pedro and Pedro and Pedro.
Pedro. We'll have to turn to Pedro on this and see what happens next.
So anyone think that Pedro won? Make some noise. What about the other Pedro? Make some noise if you think Pedro won. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. Yeah, I get it. It's the same gimmick. So, oh wait. Don't forget, there's a Pedro, but there's also a one more time, which the judges have chosen. So we're going it again here for King of OSW OMT. Pedro v. Pedro, one more time.
Uno más.
Is that how they say it?
Well, that's all right. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm excited. Anytime that there's a one more time, it usually means that the judges saw both runs, both drivers, put everything out there, and it's too hard of a decision to make. So they got to see it again. So that also means that it's a clean slate. So the drivers don't have, any deductions or advantages from the previous run. This is like it never happened, and it all starts over again for a one more time battle.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna allow them to change tires. Maybe really quickly get some fresh meat on the back of those vehicles. And, it's really coming down to we need to fill out that final four. And I have a feeling Pedro's gonna win. I don't know.
I do have a good feeling about Pedro. The other Pedro, though, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, Pedro's probably gonna lose.
Maybe.
Most likely.
Like I mentioned, this isn't just for bragging rights. This is more. It's $500 in ones going to the first, $325 going to second, $50 going to the third, and some nice gift cards by our sponsors coming up next. I'll take it away for the second half of the first battle, or first run of this one more time battle. There we go. Pedro in the silver 350Z out in front. Pedro in the pink 370Z chasing him down right on the door through Auto Zone 2. Make some noise. Now it's time for the pink 370Z to maintain that aggression through the transition and into Outer Zone 3. We're starting to see them lunge just a little bit closer. Now this is what the judges want to see, is this late lunge right here into Outer Zone 4, right on the outer zone, right on the clipping point. We see both Pedros just doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a great job, both drivers. Acosta out here in the front, and then Pedro Cignini out there in the rear, trying to apply that pressure. I would have liked to see a little closer proximity there, except for there. Actually, no. Hey, I asked for it, and I got what I asked for, because that right there, he got a little love tap as Cignini in the chase position. Acosta doing a great job, just filling out these outer zones, looking very smooth as they make their final transition. And Pedro Cignini really trying to apply the pressure, show the judges that he has what it takes to be the king of the Pedros as they make their way off the course.
So within the king of OSW, we also have the king of the Pedros, which is this battle right now.
Right. It's king of the Pedros.
Oh, man, I'm excited. So either way, Pedro will move forward. Which one? Time will tell. Second half. Oh, one more time battle.
Well, the weather is cold, the action is hot, and here we go.
So both drivers are off and initiated. Pedro in the pink 370Z doing an excellent job filling in the first outer zone. Pedro in the silver 350Z doing an awesome job in the chase position. Loses a little bit of ground down the exit of outer zone 2. Let's see if you can't make that back up through this fast transition in the back. Here we go into the third outer zone. We see the pink 370Z slow down a little bit into outer zone 4. Gives a chance for the silver 350Z to gain some proximity and get in the pocket to finish things off.
Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you right now that I think that Pedro Cignini really put it all on the line there as he just threads the needle through that outer zone. So close, looking good. Acosta not doing a bad job, but, I mean, it just really looked like Pedro Cignini just did everything he needed to do to secure victory, but I guess we're going to see.
So we do have a winner from this one more time battle. It is not going one more time. It is going to Pedro Cignini in the pink 370Z. We'll move on to the next round. So we're going to take just a quick short break so we can check the course and make sure that it is ready to go for the final four. That's the next half of this bracket, the next section of this bracket. We're already in the final four. See how quick things move?
Almost done.
So we do have some more prizes that I want to give big shout-outs to. There is going to be in addition to the cash, there's also a $500 gift card and swag pack from Injuku Racing. Action Clutch will provide a single disc clutch kit or credit towards a twin disc Kansai will give $1,000 in gift card credit
Wow.
to the first place, and then $600 to the second place, $350 to the third place. Grassroots Performance will provide a universal oil cooler kit. Valino, tire sponsor, will provide 1 pair of tires. That's actually pretty good. A hat and a sticker. Second place will get steering wheels, a hat, and a sticker. And then third place will also get a Valino hat and a sticker.
I got to finish my car.
You should
This
be out
is
here,
a-
man.
I mean, yeah, I should be out here. I just got to tune it.
K
What
and
am I going to do?
detailing.
I'm going to let somebody get to this. I'm going to help them, propel them forward, and say that I had a chance. Well, just a sliver of a chance. I'll have fun. That's what I'll do. You're such a hater.
Oh man.
That's okay. I could take it. I'm just going to shut up.
I got 2 more prizes to add to the list. KN Detailing will provide 1 free detail for a drift cart or tow rig, and that's up to a $400 value. And Distinct Auto Boutique will provide 1 pair of gram lights for the winner, or $500 towards a set of their choice. So that's a pretty good prize pack.
Yeah.
That's not only like $1,800 in prizes and gifts, but also all that other stuff too.
And we can't forget the crown. I mean, that's like the most important thing is the crown and the bragging rights that come with the crown, as they are able to just say, hey, I'm the king. And that automatically puts them in the #1 spot for the next round of King of the Step.
Exactly.
So, and they don't have to pay for the next round either.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So nonetheless, there's still plenty more drift action to come. We are about to start the final 4. So we only have 4 drivers left. We've whittled it down from 40 down to 4. Who do we got? We have Steven Tassinero, Camel, who's been wanting to win this for a while.
Yeah, he's had his eyes
We
on the
have
prize for a long time.
Kapinski, and then we have Pedro Sagini in the pink 370Z. We definitely know that there is going to be a new King of OSW. Ryan Acevedo getting knocked out in the earlier rounds. Steven Tassinero has won it, but the other 3, I believe, have not.
You know, Stefan Tassinero has been taking out competitor after competitor, and he didn't have an easy road. He had to go get past Conkling, then he had to get past Ryan Acevedo, then he had to take out Chris Rios. So I really think Stefan Tassinero is one of the favorites. Camel, I mean, he's been on fire. He's been wanting it, and he definitely can tell that he's in it to win it. But I think Kempinski might surprise us and take home the win.
I'm really excited for this Final 4. We got some really great battles coming your way. Let's see who's up next. Oh, we're already going.
Stefan Tassinero and Camel at the line. My goodness. Take it away, Steve. Wow, look at Stefan Tassinero doing a great job completely filling that first outside zone. Camel all over Tassinero around that first outside zone, and now they make their way through the back section of the course, kind of get lost in the darkness, and as they make whoa, Camel getting aggressive, attacking that third and outer zone. Final transition, Stefan Tassinero, he is on rails. I mean, he puts that car exactly where it needs to be, inches away from the barrier. Give it up for Stefan Tassinero and Camel. Wow.
Man.
Oh,
we took that little break, but man, they did not. They were ready to pounce. They were ready to show us what they could do. Camel doing a great job on the initiation, getting in there, a little bobble here, there, but just mimicking whatever wherever Steven Tassinero goes out in front of that black S14. Camel with the big wing and the green S13, sticking with him all through outer zone 2 and then through that fast transition. This is where a lot of drivers have struggled, but then gets right back on throttle and then starts to close in that gap towards the end of outer zone 3. Now it's that last corner. This is where the judges really like to see the proximity and really like to see the aggression. Camel sacrificing a little bit of line, but then coming through at the end, right in front of the judges. I think it's going to be a pretty fun battle, second half of the battle, because now they get to switch it up, right?
Yeah, you know what? I don't. Camel has, he's got to be able to attack in the lead position the same way Stefan Tassinero did. I mean, Stefan Tassinero, he put down a clinic of a lead run. One of the best lead runs I think I've seen here tonight. Camel able to hang with him all the way through. So, Camel, does he have it in him to be able to put down a stellar lead run? I know Stefan Tassinero is able to apply that pressure.
All right, and here we go. Here's the second run of this final four battle. Camel out in front in the green S13. Steven Tassinero chasing him down in the black S14. Good job by both drivers through the first outer zone and then through the second zone. They're looking pretty solid. Now let's see if they can't keep that momentum up through the fast transition in the back. Steven Tassinero making the lunge into outer zone 3. Let's see what they can do in the fourth corner as Camel slows it down just a little bit, but then here we go. Steven Tassinero makes that lunge. Woo! Make some noise, OSW.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Campbell did a great job of lead run, but Stefan Tassinero, man, he is looking dialed and just looking to take home that crown. I couldn't make this call. I don't know.
Yeah, again, I've said it a number of times already. I would hate to be a judge right now, but I think we do have a decision. We don't have a decision. Okay, so make some noise for Camel if you think he's going to win. Make some noise for Steven Tassinero if you think he's going to win. What about a one more time? Make some noise for a one more time. Uh-oh. Let's hear you, OSW. The judges are still deliberating.
Yep.
I'm hearing some chants for one more time. I think it's going to be close, Tim. What do you think?
I think we need to hear one more time chants from the crowd. One more time. One more. Come on, you guys. That's funny. That's great. I love it when the crowd gets involved. Good crowd out here. I think a lot of this crowd is just waiting for the after party.
So do we have a decision from the judges? We do. Steven Tassinero gets the win.
Wow. So that puts Tassinero versus whoever wins the next part of the battle. And are we having a battle for third and fourth?
Good question.
Constellation battle?
Yep, constellation battle. Third place battle, right. Third place battle, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
just draw like right up there.
okay. Well, you got here.
And then Camel and
Oh,
loser.
okay, all right.
All right, so we already have Steven Tassinero in the finals, but we still got one more spot left. Who's it going to be? Kapinski or Pedro? Kapinski in a 370Z, Pedro in a 370Z, but one's pink, one's red, and one will win. As we see the second half of this Final Four bracket. I'm excited. I'm cold. It's only getting colder, but the action is going to heat up out on the track. Make some noise, OSW, for this next battle. As here we go. We are sending it with Kapinski out in front in the red 370Z. Pedro Sagini chasing him down in the pink 370Z. Good initiation by both drivers. Good fill-in by the outer zone. These are the Final Four drivers, so they better drive like it, and they better impress you guys and the judges to see who moves on to the final. Big fast transition by both drivers. Kapinski putting on a little bit of a gap, but allowing Pedro to catch up a little bit with now into the last corner. Big lunge by Pedro Sagini in the pink 370Z. Woo! Make some noise.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joseph Kapinski doing a great job in a lead position. Pedro doing what he can, trying to dive in early for the tech to that first outside zone, and is able to have a good proximity there, getting in the pocket. Kapinski he does a good job of completely filling out these outside zones, utilizing almost the whole track from side to side. Nice smooth transition, inches off that inside clip as they both made their way into that third outer zone. And you see, just a slight bobble from Pedro in the chase position, trying to stay in the pocket there. And Kapinski just on rails. I'd like to see him a little deeper, but nonetheless, great run by both drivers.
Good run by both drivers. They're going to switch it up. Jeremy Kapinski will now chase down in the red 370Z. Pedro Sagini in the pink 370Z will then lead. And I'm excited for the second half of this Final Four battle. A 370Z will win, meeting Steven Tassinero in the finals. Let's see what happens next, as it looks like we're about to send him to the second half of this Final Four battle.
So where are my Joseph Kopinski fans? What about my Pedro Signini fans? All right, here we go.
And they are off. The second run of this Final Four battle has started. Pedro Signini out in front of the pink 370Z, swinging it into the outer zone one. Whoa, we got contact! Contact from Joseph Kopinski, and the red 370Z did look like he stayed a little bit too long at the end during the transition, but here we go. He's not worrying about that whatsoever. He's still out there. He's still applying the pressure. Pedro Signini doing an excellent job of navigating through the last outer zone. Nice wide line. Makes some noise. OSW right at the end on the quarter panel.
Amazing battle. I have to point out two things. I mean, Pedro, an amazing job. I mean, he could have felt that tap and tried to pull out of it and everything. No, he felt that little tap in the back by Joseph Kopinski, and he stayed in it. That is huge. And Joseph Kopinski getting close enough to where it just takes off his front bumper and matching the angle. Oh my goodness. I mean, you cannot ask for a closer and more hard-fought battle than these two gentlemen right here.
And Kopinski in the red 370Z leaving nothing out to be left by the judges, but I mean, it's still maybe a little bit too aggressive right at the end. Ooh, right on the quarter panel, just grazes his passenger side door on the rear quarter panel of Pedro.
Wow.
Tough stuff, tough stuff. Joseph Kopinski in the red 370Z gets the win.
So
Pedro Signini, unfortunately, being eliminated. So Pedro still has a chance of winning some cash in the third place battle. We already have what looks like Camel on the line ready to lead us off in this third place battle. But don't worry, the finals, the final battle for all the cash, all the prizes, and the crown is coming your way here after this third place battle. Camel will be leading. Pedro, who just unfortunately got knocked out but still has a chance to win some cash, will be chasing down.
and away they go.
And here we go. Camel, good initiation in the green in the green S13. But look at Pedro right on the door. Now Camel needs to start making his way through outer zone 2, which looks pretty nice from here, but Pedro mimicking every move. Look at these cars dance together into outer zone 3, starting to get even closer right at the end. Pedro making another big lunge. He just drove this course a second ago. Popping on the rev limiter. Make some noise, OSW. Is that what you came here to see? Do you want to see some more? There we go. Make some noise, everyone, because this is still just the third place battle. This isn't even the finals, and we're already looking at really top caliber talent. Tim, what did you see?
I just saw Camel do an amazing job in the lead position, but the aggressive nature of Pedro in the chase position. I mean, he is just making his presence felt. Little bobble there coming through that third outer zone. Camel looking down. Would like to see him a little wider through that final outer zone, but right now it just looks like Pedro is really in it to win it because he is being super aggressive in the chase position.
So now they're going to switch it up. Camel will have the chance to chase down Pedro in the pink 370Z. So we still have tons of smoke out on the track from the previous run's action. So let's kind of get some wind going, blow away the smoke so we can start this next run. How are we doing, OSW? Are you guys having a good time? Make some noise. Love to see it. Love it. Drifting's all about passion and style and personality. And I think we're seeing all of that tonight, Tim.
Oh, absolutely. I think these drivers are bringing it in every way, in style, in their driving, the choices of vehicle liveries, and the neon, and just the vibe here at King of OSW. It just gets better and better every round, and that's what makes the King of OSW really an iconic event in Florida.
And we've been doing this for years, and all of our sponsors have been making this possible, and all of our track workers have been making this possible. So I definitely want to shout out to them. King's Performance, Valino, Grassroots Performance, Nakama Imports, and Juku Racing, Kansai, Variant Imaging, BC Racing, Action Clutch, and also a shout out to all three of our judges making Really tough decisions tonight. We've had some really great battles. So again, shout out to them for being able to kind of guide us through this bracket. All right, looks like we have confirmation that we are ready to go for this next battle. This is the second half of the third place consolation round. Good initiation by Pedro Sagini in the pink 370Z. Right on the bumper is Camel, though. Nice, big, wide line. Opening up the door, though, for Camel to come right in and start to apply that pressure and get right into the door, Pedro, but loses a little bit of ground through the transition. But Camel spins at the end. Oh, no. Pedro knows it, too. He's already flamboyantly shaking his hand for third place. Ah, man, I hate to see it because that was such a good first battle, first run, and then on the second run, Camel just going too deep. What happened?
I don't know. Like, I'll tell you, though, Pedro is just on rails, just running this course. And Camel, I mean, he was doing what he needed to do, dive in the pocket. But unfortunately, Camel essentially taking himself out of the game as they made their way into that third outer zone, essentially handing the victory to Pedro.
The third place victory.
The third place victory. Well, I didn't say first place. But at this one, he won. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I totally get you. And it's going to be a clear-cut choice for the judges. But don't worry. We have the final battle to go. We'll announce it real quick, though. Pedro Sagini gets the win. Pedro in the pink 370Z will get third place. Camel, big ups, man. He came out here. He was ready to win it. Came super far, too. Yeah. But it's going to go to Pedro for third place.
Yeah, I know. Camel, great effort. His crew does a great job. Great bunch of guys. By no means should they hang their head down. They should be proud at the performance they put forth, and I know he'll be back again next round.
Absolutely. But don't worry. We have one more battle to go.
And we need to hear the crowd on this one. This is the last battle. You guys got to get some energy together and make some noise. Guys, who do you think's going to win? Take home the king.
Make some noise, OSW, for your final battle of tonight. All right, let's get things warmed up here. I know it's super cold. It's getting even colder now, but don't worry. The track is still hot, and we have one more battle to go. We have Joseph Kapinski against Steven Tassinero. Tassinero will lead in the black S14 first, but don't worry, Kapinski, we know him as an aggressive chaser, so let's see what he can do for this final battle. King of OSW, 2024 Black Friday. Who will win? It will be decided right now. Run number one. Kapinski chasing down Steven Tassinero, taking a shortcut, taking a shallower line on initiation. A little bit of an odd technique, but let's see how that pans out as Steven Tassinero fills in that first outer zone. Kapinski knows he wants to prove the judges that he deserves the crown. Bumping doors, but let's see what they can do through the second half. Again, big lunge by Kapinski in the red 370C. Make some noise, OSW, as they come around into outer zone 4. Let's see if Kapinski can make some progress here in the back. Woo!
Wow, I am telling you, Kapinski wants this crown. I mean, Stefan Tassinero doing a great job, putting the car where he needs to, threading the needle. I mean, Kapinski really diving in a little too early into that first outer zone, but that's the only mishap I could say he had. Otherwise, really on point. Stefan Tassinero putting the car nice and wide, filling out the course completely side to side. But look at Kapinski, inches in transition from the back of Stefan Tassinero's vehicle. And as they attack that third outer zone, I mean, just Kapinski does a great job mimicking angle and just smooth transitions. Again, Stefan Tassinero putting down a clinic of a lead run as both vehicles make their way off the course. It's anybody's game.
I loved what I saw, and I hope to see it again. I hope you guys loved what you saw, because we're going to see run number 2 of this final battle for the cash, for the crown, for the prizes.
This is it.
Let's go, Orlando. Joseph Kapinski and the red 370Z will now be leading, with Tassinero chasing him down. So we know Kapinski will be a solid lead driver. We do have a little bit of cleanup. We're also going to let some of the smoke kind of sift through and kind of drift away. We're kind of hotboxing Bithlow right now, so give us a second as we get this course ready to go for this final battle. We want to see it from all angles. Do you guys want to see this final battle? Make some noise. Looks like another battle is going on at the drag strip. Some type of battle, I don't know.
Well, we got a beautiful crowd here on the live stream. Guys, you are on the live stream. Put your hands up, wave to the camera. Make some noise so those that are at home can hear you. Wow, this many people braving this cold weather. You know, again, for us Floridians, this is freezing.
This is very cold for us.
Yeah.
We're used to like flip-flops and sandals in November, but we are ready to go for the second half of this final battle. Steven Tassaneo gets right in there on initiation, holds it together. It looks like he lost it for a second, but kept it together. But look at Kopinski out in front in the red 370Z, looking solid as ever as he's done all night. Let's see if Steven Tassaneo can really close in the gap. Oh, big lunge right at the end. Holds it together. No! But goes off! Kopinski making his parade lap known.
Wow.
This will be it for Tassanero, but make some noise for Joseph Kopinski.
Wow, removing all doubt, solidifying his spot. It's not a secret anymore. Give it up for Stefan Tassanero as he makes his way off the course. Hotboxing. Wow. Well, we're going to have to pull these drivers up to in front of the audience to get the official decision, I'm assuming.
I think they got what they wanted. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Just one more time. You got to stay for another battle. I'm kidding. We do have a winner. We'll bring him out front. Don't go anywhere. We got to give away some cash prizes and a crown that officially denotes them as the king of OSW. We have a winner. It's pretty obvious, but we'll wait till the end. All right. Tim, any final thoughts?
I just want to thank everybody for coming out here again. Like, share, subscribe. Drift Sessions on YouTube. We thank you so much. We want to thank everybody out here, the judges, the crowd. Amazing event, all the sponsors. But we are going to pass this down to Steve-O. Steve-O is going to make sure, and I'll just kind of fill in the space here while he's making his way over to where the cars to be able to announce the winner. But what an amazing event. Shout out to SeajayeFPV for providing amazing drone footage. Of course, SoundForge for the audio, and all the other sponsors that have done an amazing job. And Steve-O, my co-host, grateful to have him back. So I'm not doing all the talking. And as we can already see, maybe we can cut to the track. The drivers are making their way to the award ceremony.
Pretty easy.
What an amazing event. What an amazing event. Steve-O, let's get a mic check. Make sure we can hear you.
Check.
All right.
Still good?
Still good.
All right. We have some stuff to give away, some prizes, some cash. But before we announce all that, we just want to make sure that you guys give a big round of applause out here. Everyone that's put their blood, sweat, and tears into their cars, everyone that's volunteered here at the track and putting on a great show, and our judges for putting on such a great event, so big shout out to all of them. But we have some prizes, money, and a crown to give away. So let's first off start with third place. Make some noise for third place driver, Pedro Sagrini! So he's going to win his buy-in back in some wonderful prizes from our sponsors. But nothing is better than King. So the King of OSW, 2024 Black Friday Drift goes to no other than Joseph Kopinski!
Wow, it's looked like they're rushing the stand. It's like, is he going to get attacked? I don't know. Are they going to lift up the king? Yes! Oh, hail the king!
Make some noise for your new king, but also for your second place driver, Steven Tassinero, doing a great job coming out here, leaving it all out on the track. So there you have it, OSW. We have a new king. We have some great prizes from our sponsors. They get $500 in ones to the king of OSW. I wonder where he will go with that. Second place also wins some cash, $325. So that gets his whole entire weekend paid for and his buy-in back. And then third place gets his buy-in back, $50. First place gets a $500 gift card and swag pack from Injuku Racing, one of our sponsors. Be sure to check them out. They're great in supporting the grassroots scene here at OSW. Action Clutch is giving away one single disc clutch kit or credit towards a twin disc to the winner. Kansai is giving a $1,000 gift card to the first place winner, $600 to the second place, and $350 to the third. Grassroots Performance will be giving away an universal oil cooler kit. Felino Tire will be giving away one free pair of tires and a hat and sticker to the first. Steering wheels and a hat and sticker to the second. Hat and sticker to the third place. K&D Detailing giving away a free detail to a drift car or tow rig. Distinct Auto Boutique giving away one pair of Graham lights to the winner and $500 towards a set of their choice. So thank you again to all of our sponsors. But thank you, crowd. Orlando, did you have a good time tonight? Make some noise. All hail the new king of OSW. He'll be in rain until next spring. We'll be back here for Spring Break Bash. So we hope to see all you guys here. Are you guys coming out for Spring Break Bash? Hell yeah. So thanks again for coming out here. We're going to celebrate here. Stick around for the Mechanical Bull. I guess it is real because I now see it. It's right behind the grandstand. So stick around for party and good times here at Orlando Speed World. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Drift Sessions.
And thank you, Steve-O. And to everybody, a good night.